Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Next Gen BTC Racing Series. I am your commentator, Andy Pawley. That's me at the bottom, and broadcaster as well. This is Next Gen Racing. This is round 4, coming from the Thruxton circuit. 2.359 miles or 352 miles, depending on how you want to look at it. Just over 3 kilometers as well. The weather is going to be super soaking. Wet and wet at the moment. A couple of drivers are out on the hard tyres, but the rest of them are not. So that's all as it stacks up for this evening. There's the calendar. We're currently at Thruxton round 4. We've got Alton Park coming up next week, followed by Croft, Knock Hill, Donington, Silverstone, and then Brands Hatch. And don't forget, next week there is no racing. Week 15, it is the mid-season break. Sorry, Alton Park on the 8th of May, and then we have the mid-season break to Croft. So 2 weeks with no racing at all. There's the schedule. That says Donington. It's a bit out of schedule, but it doesn't matter. We have practice is going to finish in the next 8 minutes, 7 minutes actually. Qualifying 15 minutes. Quarter past the hour. We'll go to 20 minutes for race 1. Ballast is in play. Top is 75 kilos, working its way to 10th based on championship positions. Race 2 is a ballast is reset again from finishing positions of race 1, and you start in the finishing order from race 1. Race 3, we've got a little reverse grid, so we will be doing it live on stream from 6 to 12. Will be replaced as well, and we'll do that. But I will be here for the entirety of this evening's excitement. And that will, of course, take us all the way through. Right, let's go over to championship standings. So that's the wrong one. So top of the tree is Lloyd Biddulph on 145 points, followed by Rami on 114. Not a very good season run out last week, so he's going to be looking to make some amends. This is after round 3 at Snetterton. That's why it says round 3 at Snetterton, because it's after those results. Mordini's in third, Bonnie is in fourth, Rob is in 83, on 83, Axon in sixth, 76, Daniele in 71, good from him, Jamie Gorey, 53, I think he's back this time out. We've also got a couple of new drivers in tonight, some I've seen racing before, so that's going to be interesting. Fraser Rostan's always on the tip of a pole, absolutely fantastic position, but yeah, he hasn't got through there yet. Lee Horn is in 11th, Dario is in 12th, Carlo is 13th on 40 points. Termenga is back this week out, he's been running around on hard tyres. Question is he going to be on those at the end when they go to qualifying? On 34 points, Marco is on 26, Benny Norton's on 21, Simon Trebek is on 19, level pegged with Stu Neal. Marco's in 19th, followed by Alex Ward. Then Jean Petre, not racing, unfortunately. I think he's had to pull out the championship. He's down in 21st, followed by Andre in 22nd. Phil Garside, always in top 10, but he's not really got that far yet, so we'll see how he does. Can he extend it? Rich Weatherhill, not racing tonight, I don't think. It'll be interesting if he finishes this year. Baz in 25th, best looking car on the grid. It just is, and that's a fact. You cannot miss it. He's just best looking car on the grid. Stefano is in 26th, then you've got Derek, Mark, Sykes and Poddy Flack bringing up the rest of the field. So, it is going to be a wet weather race tonight. That's what we're looking at the moment. So it looks like it is going to be a tricky situation for the drivers. They're going to have to get out and get onto that qualifying lap. It's a 1:16. So at the moment there are four drivers are now in the 1:16s. Fraser Rostance, Carlo, Stu Neal and Phil. Carlo was race 3 winner last time out. Fraser Rostance has always been on the tip of a race winning position, but his consistency is what lets him down. New driver just joining, that's why it flips. Sometimes has that little bit of a stalling because someone's joining into the lobby. Stu Neal's up third. I'm not expecting him to stay there. Stu Neal's biggest problem is consistency. I've said it time and time again. I've seen him racing in other race series. I've commentated on him now for 2 years. I think it is 2 years in total. Is his consistency. He's very, very good at hot lapping. Very good at hot lapping. His issue is going to be that consistency. So he's going to have to figure out a way to get himself basically not in the wall anymore, because if he does, that's going to really hurt his progress. It'll hurt his progress. And I've seen it time and time again, and I've seen it on multiple. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Yep, let's sort that out. There we go. And I've seen it multiple times. I've seen him leading a race and bin it. Unfortunately, he probably won't thank me for saying that, but I have seen it. And it was just a real shame. It was a real shame, but unfortunately, that's just how it stacks up. Sometimes you can't have it all your own way. The purple sectors are currently split between Fraser Rostance, Carlo, and Phil Garside. Actually, down currently in the pits. Benny Norton's up to 5th. He's in the BMW dry line appearing now. So the weather is meant to be wet, rainy with spots of sun. So hard tyre is going to be key. If they are out there and you're running around on the wet tyre, which is Carlo is, he's going to start burning up those tyres. Lloyd Bidoff is in 13th on a 1:23.031. He's on a hard tyre at the moment. Yeah, I'm expecting that to improve, to be perfectly honest. I'd expect him to be somewhere near the top when the closing races. We see Carlo nearly bending it into the side of the track. Alberti is in the BMW. There's quite a few drivers in the TZ Sim Project yellow and black liveries. There's two Hondas, I think it is, flying around as well. They do look good, but Baz has the best looking car on the grid. He just does. That's a fact. He's in 18th. Torlaska, he's on the epitomes there. He's down in 8th position at the moment. We do have a driver. This man here at the moment has done a 26.753 Sector 1. He's improved Sector 1. He did not improve Sector 2. 26.602 is the best, and he just didn't. He was a 26, yeah, slightly above that. He might improve. ever so slightly, but I don't think he's going to sort himself out. No, he isn't. He puts himself 6th and he remains in 6th. Right. There is Jean-Petra. Jean-Petra has joined, so he has managed to sort his computers out. They're all under there because they're all going to wait as we go. 45 seconds remaining of the practice session. Then we will go into qualifying. So the qualifying session will determine the start positions of race 1. So it is going to be important that they actually sort themselves out, that they get a good qualifying result here. Thomas Dealey is actually not retired, but it comes up on the board there as essentially he is. That's better. There we go. He's coming up on the board as essentially done. Let's sort that out. There we go. We are live. Some people say, is it recorded? Nope, it is a live stream, which is why we sort it out. Thomas Dealey's coming up as a disqualification on the board. I have no idea why that is. It just is, as it stands at the moment. So, yeah. That's going to be another interesting to see. We'll try and sort this out while we are live in stream. There we go, that's a bit better. As I said, we are a live show, so this sometimes happens. At the moment, Fraser Rostance is the fastest driver out there. He's the fastest driver of anybody as it stands at the moment. So he is where I would expect to put my 50p at the moment. Rostance is still out. So they're all going to sort themselves out now. So we're going to go into the 15-minute qualifying session. Lap time, like I said, we're looking around a 1:16. It could be quicker. It dried up towards the end. So if it starts wet and becomes dry, they're all going to have to think about what tyre choice to go on. So it is sunny at the minute. It is raining at the minute, actually. It's gone damp. So that's going to play into the factor of what they can do. Just checking the weather report at the moment. Qualifying is coming up as light rain showers and light winds. So I suspect it's going to be a choice between hard and wet tyres, depending on how they want to play this. Anybody out at the moment? There's a couple of drivers leaving the pits. There goes Lloyd Biddulph. He's currently leaving. Yeah, it's wet. It's properly wet. There is... that was Carlo, so Carlo's abandoned that already. Stu Neal should be slightly ahead. So he comes out, he's in the Pepperami Little Cupra, still going at the moment. Now, is that Massimo ahead? Massimo's in the pits, that's Jamie Dory. So Jamie Dory's going to be one of the first drivers going through that sector. And that's going to be quite interesting. Let's bring up the board. So at the moment, Benny Norton's on basically a reset according to the board. We will keep an eye on this as it unfolds. But let's see how they stack up. So it's all going to come down to what they can, where they can put in. There's everyone, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 drivers. So of the 20, we have 22, 23 drivers on track at the moment. Let's go over to the qualifying box. Let's see what he can do. Jamie Dory, no lap, first time out. They're on full throttle here for over 60% of the lap. It's how brave they can be. Then he comes through the right-hander here. This is the club. This is famous. If you remember, there's been lots and lots of incidents and accidents through this sector. So Anton Temenga is in this sector. Jules User, new this time out, is in this sector. But we're sticking with Jamie Dory at the moment as we ride on board with him now. And it's absolutely hammering it down. The entire field is on wet tyres. No one dares go on to dry tyres at the moment. Through Allard into Campbell. This is Campbell, then Cobb. They just will be nowhere near the times that we're looking at, that we want. Is it going to be a 1:16? I don't think it is. That was lucky towards the end. They're going to be closer to, I suspect, a 1:20, 1:24, depending on how brave they can be. That's why there's a big swing on the times. This is now through Village and into Church. He will be purple in that sector. Andre Alberti is purple in that sector now. At 27.414, we're sticking with this man here at the moment, not Fraser Rostance. What's Fraser Rostance doing? Let's go with Alberti. There he is, BMW rear-wheel drive. These cars lose out in the first sector. Alberti, last time out, don't forget at Snetterton, was faster than everybody in qualifying. Pole position he put himself on. The problem he had is he consistently lost at least 1 place in every single start so far. He's got to work on those starts. He will cross the line. There it is, a 117, 18, 19. He's going to be 120, 121.268. That's cost him quite a lot of time, but that's the wet weather conditions. As soon as a dry line forms, they're going to have to jump out and get on it at the moment. Fraser Rostans was top 5. He's gone yellow in Sector 1, yellow in Sector 2. A lot of greens on the board at the moment. Only driver in the 27.4s is Alberti. This is through Sector 1, through the right, through the left. The final sector into club. What can he achieve time? He won't get it. He'll be top 5, top 6 with this sort of time. At the moment, 124.7. 13th. He lost loads of time. Romy is going currently faster. He's gone 0.06 of a second faster in Sector 2. He isn't the fastest in this sector. According to the board at the moment, he is faster in Sector 3. 27.346 versus a 27.341. Timing screen's a little bit out of date, but we are getting there. He needs to keep this nice and tidy now, riding on board. He's fighting Lloyd Biddle, don't forget. Lloyd is currently in 8th position. Lloyd's qualifying has not been as good as it can be. A little dry line there is forming on the tarmac. So, is anyone going to brave the hard tyres? Is anybody going to go and put those hard tyres on and go for a few laps as Romy comes now into the final 2 corners at club? Needs to keep it nice and tidy. He's on wide. A little bit of a squirm there from the rear end. He's lost Sector 2 time. It will be 127. Massimo's going faster. Massimo. They're all making time up in Sector 1. Sector 2, he's lost 0.3 of a second, 0.3 of a second in Sector 2. Massimo was Sector 1. Carlo is currently on a flyer of a lap. Here he goes. Target is coming up purple on the board, same as Thomas. So let's see what he can do from here. Carlo was mighty fast out at Snetterton last time out, but race 3 winner. But he should have won 2. He should have won 2 races, but he just didn't have that consistency. He got tangled up, and as a result, it cost him dearly. But that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So he's got a couple of points to prove here as he goes down the gearbox now through the right-hander. Then it's the left-hander, and he's retired. He's retired. But Andre Alberti is absolutely flying. Can he get 2 poles in a row? There is 9 minutes 34 seconds remaining. Is it going to get faster? Yes, it is, because the track is drying. You can see that dry line now starting to form. What can he do from here? 120.9. I don't think we've seen it. Which driver is going to brave? Which driver is going to brave the hard tyre? Massimo is on fire. There he is on a 120.9. That's his target time. He's 1/10 of a sector up in Sector 1. But he's had a lovely little tow here from the driver ahead. And that's allowing him just to gain a little bit more extra speed as we come around the back half of the race circuit now. He's lost 4/10 in Sector 2. He's lost 4/10 in Sector 2. So, and he's lost even more time then. He's abandoned the lap. The lap is abandoned. Marco's going a little bit faster. He's going sideways, but he was going a little bit faster. So he's gone onto his first flight, onto a flying lap, currently in 8th at the moment. Second place man, Romy, 27.058, fastest in Sector 1 at the moment. The question is he going to be fastest in Sectors 2 and 3? He's getting a lovely little tow there from the Pepper Army of Stu Neal, who's just driven off into the grass, and he's retired. I think he's going hard tyre. Nobody, yes he is. Phil Garside has gone for the first driver to hard. So is Jamie Dory. We'll watch them on the board. They're the times we're looking at. Jamie Dory down in 6th position, and Garside down in 12th. Watch those. Couple of low enders have now gone onto the hard as well. 5/10 up, 5/10 down in Sector 2. They are losing 6/10 of a second in Sector 2. They're fast in Sector 1, but they're not great in Sector 2. So he's going to be in the 120s, I think he's going to get. He will improve, but not enough to really cause him any... he hasn't really done anything from there, really. Massimo, again, mighty in Sector 1. Massimo's on the wet tyres. Jamie Dory's now is in 6th. He's on hard. Stu Neal has got himself up to 10th on the hard tyres. Let's see how that stacks up. Riding on board, Carlo's going a bit faster as well. He's down in 5th position. lost 3/10 in that sector. Carlo, same sort of thing. They're all gaining. In sector 1, 4/10 of a second. That rear-wheel drive is providing superiority out of the corners, but it's costing them. It's costing them in the slowdowns. That's the problem. They're going to have to start working as a team now. 3/10 up in sector 2. But this is where he's got. Carlo has to keep it on. Keep it on the power. Massimo's put himself up into second position, a 1:21.072. But is this going to be provisional pole lap with 6.5 minutes to go? Carlo's got a little bit of traffic ahead now. He needs a good drive. That is Derek Neal. Derek needs to get out the way and not hamper him on a flying lap. He gets a lovely little toe. There goes fastest. 1:23.74. But he lost. Wow, he lost 6/10 of a second in the final sector. So Alberti, this man here, does a 26.397 in sector 3. Pole position, 27.057. There is still time to be had. Jean Petra's in 17th. Fraser Rostand's early goer on the hard tyre there is in a 1:60. He's in a 1:20. He's down in 18th position. Nearest us makes no difference. He's 21.24. He's 4 seconds off the lead at the moment for provisional pole position. Alberti will stick with him through the lap, riding on board now. He's through sector 1 and he's in sector 2. As he goes down the long right-hander. Alan Axon has now joined. He's in 25th. That's why the board had a little bit of a wobbly there. 25 drivers in, 26 I think. Yeah, that's why. Through the right-hander here as we go into the club corner. He needs to keep this nice and tidy now. He's purple in sector 1, but he's lost 3/10 in sector 2. Unless he can pull out a mighty sector 3. I don't think he's going to do anything from here. Yeah, he does a 1:19.996. Absolutely stunning in sector 3. He's quickest than anybody in sector 3. I say that as Carlo now takes... no. Carlo is pole, Alberti is second. The lap didn't go through. No, the lap was disallowed. The lap was disallowed, so Alberti should have been on pole position, but he was not. So Carlo's currently faster. Mordini has gone into third. Daniele is now in 4th position on the hard tyre. So the track conditions are now evolving, and that's going to be key. Massimo is on a flyer here, 1/10 of a second up. Massimo still plotting around on those wet tyres. He's mighty in sector 1. That rear-wheel drive is superior here. I'm expecting rear-wheel drive to be the car of choice, to be the car that you want to be driving in this race. Michael Clough has just joined as well. That's why we've got 26 drivers in at the moment. Through the long right-hander he needs to go. Then it's the little kink here of the left-handers. Basically a right-hand circuit all the way around. Through Village, and this takes us into Church. Great racing etiquette there from the drivers. Through Brooklands, and then we come into Club. We are keeping an eye on Massimo. He's purple sector 1, purple sector 2, currently 6th fastest. Can he get this? Can he pip provisional pole position? No, 7/10 off in that final sector. It is going to be, has anyone? So Carlo's in the pits. Has he? No, he's gone. He's gone for the hard tyre. Lloyd has got himself up into 8th position. He's exiting the pits now. Lloyd's gone for the hard tyre. They are all going for the hard tyre now. They're going to have to make that choice, because if they don't, they're going to lose massive time when it comes to this. Anybody improving in the sectors? Yeah, Massimo is on fire. Not literally, but if he was, he's using all of the available track that he has to him. 1/10 of a second, and has he damaged the car? No, he's pushing it. The question is he going to push it too far? Massimo has historically been slowest in sector 3. That's what's compromised his lap time, time and time again. So Massimo, sector 1 at the moment. Third fastest, 26.620. He's gone purple sector 2 as well, 53 in that sector. So he is on this, but the man in the lead, Carlo, is going... Oh, he's on his outlap at the moment. He's coming up on the board. Question is, can he go fastest? Is it going to be too little too late? It's 2:36 with a 1:19 lap. So if you ain't in it now, you ain't doing it. He stays third fastest to that final sector. It's that final sector. Yellow in sector 1. Carlo is out on the hard tyres. What can he do here? We'll keep an eye on this. Romy has put himself into provisional pole position on a 1:19.133. It is all change at the top of the stream screens at the moment. Purple sector 1, purple sector 3 for fastest man Romy. Second in the championship, fighting down Lloyd Biddle in 8th position. Lloyd wasn't anywhere in Snetterton last time out. Wasn't anywhere in Donington. His qualifying times are hurting him. Massimo has gone fastest in Sector 1. He's mighty in Sector 1. Temenga puts himself into 8th position, pushes Lloyd to 9th. Baz, highest qualifying position so far. You've got to be on the right tyre at the right time. And right now, if you're not on the hard tyre, you need to get in the pits, get it changed, get out and get going. Because if you do not, I think you're not going to be winning. Because all the wet drivers, they're all slowly going down. Romy is still on a wet tyre at the moment. Carlo and Massimo are both improving in those sectors, but they are not going fastest. Alberti just lit the timing screens up. Lit the timing screens up in Sector 1. He's gone for nearly contact there. Contact with a rival driver. I believe that was Robbie. That could have compromised him. Is this going to be his one and only chance for a provisional pole position? He has to put this. He has to go for it. He's brilliant in these changeable conditions. There is the dry line. So if you do not cross the line in the next 56 seconds, it's going to be game over. The question is, can he put this in 0.5 of a second up? In Sector 2, he's flashing his lights furiously. He's going, I'm on a hot lap. I'm on a hot lap. Get out of the way. Oh, he's been compromised. He's been compromised. That could have cost him provisional pole position. He's been compromised, I think, by one of the Trip 6 Motorsport drivers. I think that's cost him provisional pole position. Who was that? Who has cost him? That is going to be Alan Axon might have just, Anton Temenga might have just cost this man provisional pole position. No, it was this man. No, it was. Has it gone through? Whoa, he's managed to hold on in the final sector. So he's managed to get it on a 1:18, but that could have cost him. That could have cost him provisional pole position. So at the moment, Lloyd Biddulph on the hard tyre has gone third fastest. He's retired. It's game over for him. Trackside now. Romy, he'll get one more go at this, and he puts himself second. No, he doesn't. He gets no more goes. He can't complete a lap. So unless they're on a flying lap now, what can Daniele do in 5th position? At the moment, wet tyre. Can he get himself into the top 3? Romy is finished. He's provisional second. Andre Alberti, provisional pole as it stands at the moment. What can Daniele do? Can Daniele get himself any further? Yes! Top 3! The top 3 drivers. BMW. A little change there. Jamie Dory's into 10th. There's a massive accident in the background. Michael Clough is just sat in the pits at the moment. Stu Neal gets himself to 6th position, his highest starting position this season out. Mordini, BMW, can he get himself up into that? Yes, he does. Into 5th position he goes. Marco has abandoned the lap. And Baz, best looking car on the grid. Baz is currently down in 16th. He had got himself up to 10th in practice session. Can he get himself into that top 10? What can he do from here? I don't think he's going to have any heroics. 12th. Only goes 12th fastest. So I think that's how it stacks itself up for this this race as it sets. We better do that just in case. So they're all retired. They're all in the pits now, and that is it. So qualifying came down to who had the right tyre at the right time, and those BMWs were just mighty on those tyres. And the BMW is always going to be, at the moment, as I've been told, the BMW just has the advantage in that sector. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Let's go to the session results. I think that's the... No idea who that is. We want qualifying 1. There we go. Qualifying results. Alberti from Romy will start on the first row. Daniele and Lloyd Biddulph, good for Lloyd actually. He's the highest front wheel drive and has consistently been the highest front wheel drive there in fourth. Mordini in fifth. Watch out for Mordini. If it's changeable conditions, that man is rapid. Carlo in sixth. I don't think he's going to be happy with that. He needs to get himself, it needs to be in a position that he can stay in that top six. Highest starting position for Stu Neal this season. Massimo down in eighth. Andre is in 9th. Jamie Dory is in 10th. Marco is in 11th, highest placed Honda. Baz is in 12th. Good result for him. Jules Yusa, new to the season, new to the racing this week out. He's just in 13th. I think he's learning. He is fast in a Cupra, front wheel drive on race room, so I'm expecting big things from him in race 3 at least. Phil Garside in 14th. Anton Tomenga in 15th. Benny Norter in 16th. Marco is in 17th. Mark Sykes is in 18th. Alan Axon is 19th. Poddy Flack down in 20th position. Pascal Jean-Petre is 21st, Thomas Dealey is 22nd, Fraser Rostans. I expected a lot more from Fraser Rostans and Alex Ward, both teammates 23rd and 24th. I expect a lot more from those two drivers. We will see how that stacks up. Derek Neal is in 25th and Michael Clough is in 26th. And that's how it stacks up for the session results for today. And we have 3 minutes until we go over to race 1. Which will be an absolute sensation of a race. Let's go back over to the feed, make sure the timing screen is up and running. Right, welcome to the commentary box. Yeah, you can see through my window here, so we might have to just move that ever so slightly. There we go. Yeah, brilliant qualifying. It all came down to, yeah, I'm in the right place. It all came down to whether or not it was the right tyres, the right tyres at the right time. And the BMWs just have that superior drive in those changeable conditions. And that's what's going to be key, because according to the weather for race 1, we've got light rain and light winds. So Lloyd proved last week that he was absolutely blistering in those changeable conditions. He was mighty fast. So am I expecting him to be faster than everybody else again? Yes, I am. I really, really am expecting him to be fast. The problem he's got is ballast. He's always got ballast as a problem. And he's running around on 75 kilo. This is a rear-wheel drive circuit, more so than Snetterton. So what Lloyd really needs is one of the T6 Motorsports drivers to be up there with him, basically. And he just doesn't have that. And that's the problem he's running around with. He just doesn't have that teammate there at the moment. And that's not saying that his teammates are bad. It's just that when you're fighting at the sharp end of a championship, you're going to need that other person. You're going to need that support. You're going to need that blocker. Do I think he's going to finish top 3 this race? He's starting 4th? Yes, I do. He proved that last time out in Snetterton. He's just fast. He's just a fast driver. He's also learning. He's maturing as well. So he's getting cleverer and cleverer. So I'd expect him to be top 3 in race 2. I think he'll shave the ballast, and if he does, then I expect him to be at least top 1, top 2. Race 3, I don't know. Race 3 is basically race 3. If you ever watch Touring Car, it's as if they all forget that they have to fix the car and they just go hell for leather. Same in here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as always, to the YouTube. If you're thinking, oh, Andy, I'd like to get involved in this, I like a piece of this BTC action, get yourself on Discord. You can find it, just look for Nxtgen. We're on the Facebook, we're on the YouTube as well. But on the Discord is where everything is kept. And you can join in, I think, you can still join the season. And there's a Pro and an AM series as well. And obviously, if you're really bad, like I am, you just talk in the commentary box. So always welcome if you're interested in that. Please do come along. We'll see how you get on. And you can come and join the commentary team. So enough of that. Well, we've got 42 seconds remaining before we go over to race 1. It's 20 minutes long. Ballast is in play. It's championship ballast. So it's 75 kilos all the way down. And it does play a massive effect. It hurts tyres. It hurts weight distribution. And Lloyd's been running around since round 2. We're on round 4 now. So for effectively 8 rounds, I think it is, because in round 1 there was no ballast. He's effectively running around with no less than 60 kilograms on board that car. So he's having to learn to drive effectively a car with a car on its roof. And that's the problem he's got. And when it's wet weather conditions, it eats the tyres quickly. And once they did this update, I think it was Alan Axon let me know that once they did the update, effectively the BMWs towards the second half of the race gain a bigger advantage because the tyre wear isn't as progressive, which is why the all BMWs carry a 10 kilogram ballast, regardless if they should have championship ballast or not. And that's additional. So if they finish first, they get 75 kilo plus the 10 additional. And that's the only thing. Right, we're going to go back over to the main feed and we will get ready for race 1. All the drivers are going to get themselves ready, get themselves onto the grid for the start of the race, and it will be an absolute sensational. They do a warm-up lap. There is a full warm-up lap, and then it's the 20 minutes race start that we go for. And that is all set to be absolutely magnetic at the moment. So, as it all sets itself off, as they all get themselves ready, a couple of drivers are getting on. They're all going to choose their tyres. It will be mixed strategy between wet and dry. Do I think it's going to rain? Probably. But then, when does it rain? And that all plays into this. This all plays into the huge different factors that they're going to have to think about now. Because it's just different factors that they've got to think, and they've got to really think about that strategy. With 26 cars on the grid at the moment, that's going to be a difficult thing to deal with. Are there standing water? Not like we had at Donington last time out, but there is standing water on the circuit as well. It is an easier track to overtake at as well. If you're just joining us, welcome to race 1. Round 4 at Thruxton racetrack. It is a 2.35 mile race circuit. Weather is fair at the moment. Track temperature is 15.1, air temperature is 12.9. I am your commentator and your broadcaster for tonight's proceedings. Starting order for race 1 of the Nxtgen Btcc Racing Series. On row 1 we've got Alberti and Romy. Row 2 we have Danielle and Lloyd Biddulph. Watch out for Lloyd. I'm expecting him to be fast. Row 3, we've got Mordini and Carlo, who's going to be wanting that second race win this season. Stu Neal just has to hang in there in the 4th row with Massimo on row 4. Row 5, Andre Torlasca, followed by Jamie Dory. On row 6, Marco, followed by Baz, best looking car on the grid. Highest starting grid for him so far. Row 7, Shores Yusa, new to the championship. Watch out for him. Full Garside alongside him. Anton Temenga and Benny Norton bring in row 8. I think, yeah. Row 9, we've got Marco Bentini and Mark Sykes. Row 10, we've got Alan Axon and Poddy Flack. A good position for him, but he's going to need to try and work forward to get some points. Row 11, Pascal Jean-Petre by Thomas Dearley. Row 12, we've got Fraser Rostance and Alex Ward really out of position there. So let's keep an eye on those. Can he make any progression in this race? And bringing up row 13 is Derek Neal and Michael Clough. And that is your starting order for tonight's race. Right. 20 minutes to go. Let's get ready. The session's saying 57.26, but it'll be advanced quickly because this is the warm-up session, and then we will go racing. We'll get the announcement. The field riding on board now is still coming through club. This is on board with Alex Ward right at the back of the field as we get them all lined up. They're all going to get the engine notes will be ready. They'll all get engine notes will rise. They'll progress this session forward quickly enough, and then we'll go into the first race. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get there. Here we go. 5 seconds to go. Watch the lights. Hear the engine notes rise. It's race 1 of Thruxton, and it's lights out, and away we go. And an absolutely perfect start there from Mordini. Mordini doesn't even start at the moment. Look at the fast-moving Jamie Dory is alongside there with Stu Neal. Can he do anything from here? Is he going to send it up into the inside? He's got Lloyd Biddulph Bidolph is already down 1 position. He is on the far right, and then alongside that is Massimo and Carlo. Oh, there's contact in the background already. A little bit of an outbound. Tornaska has gone backwards. Tamenga, they're all crashing into each other, trying to avoid everybody. It's Carnaggio at the front corner, and that's allowed Alberti to get away perfectly. But Lloyd Bidolph, riding on board with him now, is back up into 5th position. Jamie Dorey is red hot on his heels. Jamie Dorey is right behind him. He's the 2nd car in the row, that number 13. Absolutely pink-mobile. There it is. Can't miss it. What can he do? Through this long right-hander, absolutely carnage at the front, but perfect start. You can see there in the background Tamenga in that front-wheel drive at the moment is coming alongside Marco. Front-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive through the right-hander. They need to keep this absolutely pinpoint accurate. Any mistake, only 1 driver on the hards, only 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers on the hard. Mordini's retired. Absolute carnage for Mordini. That's gonna hinder his championship. Jamie Dorey is going for Lloyd Bidolph on full tilt at the moment. Can he put anything through? Can he do anything? Mark Sykes is making progress. He's side by side there with the recovering Carlo as well. There's Carlo in the Infinity, the 1-2 second car in the row. He's down in 20th position as we ride on board with him now. And you see the battle ahead between Fraser Rostance and Thomas Dealey. Thomas, I think, is related to Ian Dealey, but we will find out in post-race. But Fraser Rostance is going backwards, and Carlo's just going to go round him. Carlo's just going to go right round him into the first corner as he goes through Campbell and Cobb, and he's just got the job done. He's going to be recovering. He's going to need to go faster if he wants to get there. Right, back into 10th position. This is Benny Norton. He's in 10th. He's hunting down 9th and 8th position. Front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, BMW, Laser Tools Racing. There he is, 1, 2, 3 car, 3rd car in the row. And at the moment, the 2 cars ahead, Marco and Stu Neal are battling it out to each other. Can he get anything through here? Can Marco attack on the back? Sorry, Anton Tamenga. Tamenga is the car in front. That is Marco. You're riding on board with him now. And as you see there, Jamie Dorey is going for Lloyd Bidolph. He's absolutely gone for it. Lloyd, 75 kilo. He's going to be so happy to share. Oh, Jamie Dorey, has he blown the engine up again? He's blown the engine up, I think. Has he blown the engine up? No, he hasn't blown the engine up, but he made a mistake. That was the problem. And as a result, he's managed to just go a little bit wide. No, he's hunting the wet weather. No, they're hunting the rain. The dry line is now forming, and this is going to really hurt the front wheel drive cars. The rear wheel drives are a bit softer on their car tyres, and as a result that's going to allow them to go forwards. But Lloyd is really struggling. Stu Neal in 7th, started 7th at the moment. The question is, can he make any progress from here? Riding on board with Lloyd Bidolph just ahead. He is absolutely bringing this up as best he can. He's fighting Dorey, defending from Neal behind. Through the right-hander, oh, he's lost a little bit of go there. He's lost a little bit of rhythm. That's allowed Stu Neal in the Pepperami car behind that one to go alongside him. This is very audacious. He just needs to nip and tuck as he goes into club. Through the long right-hander here of Village, Goodwood and Village. He just needs to be super careful that he doesn't put this on the grass, doesn't make a mistake, doesn't do anything silly. That's the problem that man has, because he is now closing. That's allowed Jamie Dorey to escape the battle 2/10, 3/10, but Lloyd's problem is accelerating off the corners. That's where he really struggles to get any form of real pull or drive, and that's compromising his exit speed. He's managed to get a little gap there because there was a mistake from Stu Neal, but he's got to work on that, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose that position in a matter of time. It's 15 minutes to go, 1/3 gone, 3/4 remaining, so it's going to be very close as the tyre progression goes through this race, and degradation will be a key factor. Benny Norton making some progress. He's down in 9th position. He's racing Anton Tamenga, front wheel drive car versus a rear wheel drive car, BMW versus Opel. These two are basically trading sector times at the moment. Benny Norton at 122, the man ahead, he was a second faster. The question is, can he go even faster? He's not going to go around there. He just needs more confidence. Those front wheel drives can exit the corner, can enter the corner quicker, but the BMW just has that speed. He just has to sit there, really, Benny. He doesn't need to do anything silly, doesn't need to do any heroics. Stu Neal has closed the gap to 1/10 of a second. Let's ride on board now with Stu Neal. Can he do anything? You've also got the battle behind. That's heating up as well. It's all kicking off now. Question is, can Stu Neal send this up the inside of championship leader Lloyd Biddulph? Benny Norton has got past Tamanga in the background, but he hasn't managed to do this. Benny Norton is absolutely on fire. We'll keep an eye as that progresses through this race. At the background, you've got Mark Sykes in 20th position. He's defending from Alan Axon behind and attacking Alex Ward ahead. And that's the key here. They've got to really think about where they put the car, the strategies they're using, the tyres. Benny Norton now has closed up to the back of Stu Neal. The problem Stu Neal has is he's got a very slow-moving Lloyd Biddulph ahead of him. And that's really costing them time. Because you ride on board now with Benny Norton. He's attacking the man ahead while defending from the man behind. Now, is Tamanga in this battle? No, he's not. He's not close enough yet to Norton to be really causing any form of hindrance. But you can just see him at the back there. He's just a little bit closer. The BMW is going to go round. You're not going to get round there. You're going to have an almighty send because, he's thought better of it. He's allowed Stu Neal to be released there because I think he's going to go into club. The rear-wheel drive struggling a little bit there through that sector, and that's allowing the front-wheel drives just to scamper on, just to get a little bit further. 2/10 off, they've both gone defensive into club, and look how much time they've lost through into club. Coming out of the Brooklands, because that's just allowed that BMW to once again close the gap. Alberti is 3 seconds ahead in the lead at the moment. This is the battle that is raging. Baz and Michael Clough. Clough is up to 12th at the moment, gained 14th position. So he will keep an eye on him as he makes progress, but he's 4 seconds off now. Poddy Flack in 11th. As we've got this man here going around the outside, he thinks better of it. He just thinks, I can't do it. If he goes full send, if he makes one mistake, it is game over. It's going to be absolute carnage if he does that. So he just needs to be super careful that there's no silliness, that there isn't anybody doing anything stupid, because if he does, he's going to lose his best place finish this time out. As we ride once again on board with Benny Norton, Stu Neal is really having to struggle here. He's braking a little bit in the wrong place, but he's entitled to do that. That's the old Jason Plato technique there. Slow in, slow you down, and speed for it. But that's cost him. Shaw's User is currently out as well. Lost 12 places in 25th. Oh, Stu Neal's made a mistake. He's run too wide, took too much curb. Is Benny Norton in the BMW? Is he going to go it up the inside? It's a right-hand circuit pretty much all the way. He's going to have to hang this out into club. Absolutely sensational there from Benny Norton. Into 7th he goes. His next target is Lloyd Biddulph. But look who's slowly approaching in the background. It's Marco. So he's just been watching. He's been slowly caught by Poddy Flack. But Marco is he's on a 121.698 last lap, all the way up to 6th, 122.5s on average. So he has a real opportunity to bag himself a top 5 finish, as Anton Tamanga makes a mistake, and that's going to put him right into the clutches of Marco, and that's what he's got to be careful of now. Benny Norton is going alongside championship leader Lloyd Biddulph. Lloyd's not going to fight this too much because he's not really fighting this man here. He's fighting Romy, who's currently in 2nd position, 4.8 seconds off the lead. Benny Norton up to 6th. He's now 5 seconds away from Jamie Dorey. So top 5, all rear-wheel drives. But like I said, this was going to be a rear-wheel drive circuit. Riding on board now with Marco, down in 10th position. He is fighting the man ahead. That is Anton Tamanga, down in 9th position. Clough has lost out to Carlo Diana at the moment. Carlo's in 12th, Michael Clough is in 13th. But he's right on the rear end as we see Marco's I told you, Marco has been absolutely flying these last couple of laps. He is that car. He's going to get Stu Neal. I think Stu Neal's cooked his tyres or he's damaged the car. There's a dry line forming, so if you're on wet tyres now, which is basically everybody, it's the wrong tyre. Those front-wheel drive cars will be absolutely hurting. And Podiflak has caught them both up, and he's going to go round here. He should get Anton Temenga without any real hindrance. Oh no, Jamie Dory's run wide. Jamie Dory ran wide at the last corner coming out of Cobb, and that's compromised his now next section of corners. And how much time does this man lose? Benny Norton, 6th place, wants a top 5. This BMW at the moment is just working. Baz is retired as well in 24th. That BMW at the moment is just working perfectly. Carlo is back on the end of Michael Clough. So these two have traded positions, and they've retraded position. And look, there is Andro Torlasco. He's right on the back there of Carlo. Carlo's going to go upside Michael Clough. I think Michael Clough is just letting him through. Yeah, he's not fighting then. That's very clever. Right, Jamie Dory and Benny Norton didn't just caught the end of that. Yeah, he's got that done. Benny Norton is just finding. He's outbraked himself though. So is this going to allow Jamie Dory to come back? Yes, it is. Jamie Dory through Club as he goes through now the long right-handed of Allard's, which takes us down into the right-left of Allard and Cobb. It's not Cobb, it's the other corner, but it's all the same to me. That's Allard. Oh, Jamie Dory's struggling there. Jamie Dory's the second car in the row. And he's just, yeah, he went off lap. He went off. Last lap, he went off, and that's compromised. His exit strategy is compromised. His ability to put anything on the road here. He's going to have to just calm down a little bit, and I think he will go faster. You can see in the background there, Podiflak is now stuck. Has cleared Stu Neal, but that was always going to be a done deal, really. They're moving around so fast at the moment. Those front-wheel drives are they're just being hurt with the tyres. That's the problem that they're having, is those tyres are really starting to hurt now on the front-wheel drive cars, and the BMWs in the closing 8 minutes of this race are just going to be in a class of their own. If the front-wheel drives were still on the hard tyre, then I think those front-wheel drives would be superior, but it's the wrong tyre. The wet is the wrong tyre to be on if you're in a front-wheel drive, and they'll be chewed up. The question is, can Podiflak riding on board now get past Anton Temenga? These two have had previous in other racing series, so I do know there is no love lost between these two. The question is, can he sail this up the inside? Can he put this on to provisional pole position, which is not what we're doing. We're actually doing race 1. Can he get into top 9 finish? He wants to be top 6, really, as we see a car at the side of the road. That will be Derek Neal, who is just getting out of the way. Absolute great racing etiquette. But Podiflak now riding on board in 10th position. He's fighting the back of Anton Temenga. Can Temenga hold on to this? Poddy is not wanting to do anything silly, because if he does, that's going to cost him more time. There is Stu Neal right behind it. Poddy is just going to pick his moment. Keep it nice and tidy, do no silliness, and he'll get this job done really easily. I don't think there's going to be any real fight from the man ahead. As Stu Neal runs off the road again. There's Carlo. There's Carlo in the background. Carlo's going, I'm coming. He flashes his lights on. Stu Neal goes off. He spent more time on the grass than he has on the tarmac. Somebody get the man a lawnmower, because at this rate he'll have mowed the lawn. But Stu Neal now down to 12th position. Real shame, but that's how it is sometimes. He's struggling out there. It's his consistency time and time again. Carlo's up to 11th. Carlo is only 5 positions now away from his starting order. Phil Garside, a 2-point off. They're all kind of holding station. Andre's on. He's going to mug Stu Neal as well. He's going to mug him as well. The front wheel drives are just hurting. Podiflak has got past Temenga. Carlo is going to get past Temenga. I think that's a done deal. That will happen in the next, say, 3 minutes. Really, front wheel drive is now not the car of choice, and it's the wrong time. If it was me, some of these guys have rolled the dice. Fraser Rostan's Pascal Jean-Petre. They've rolled the dice, but the changeable conditions at the moment are not favouring the front wheel drive cars. Lloyd's hanging on to 7. He's going to be happy with that. Carlo's going to go up the inside of Temenga. This should be just a job done, really. There's Podiflak just ahead. Temenga is a 120.6. He is faster than everybody, all the way up to 3rd at the current. So he has a chance. He's not going to get there fast enough. He's going to run out of time. Real shame for Carlo. It's his poor qualifying positions. He should just got the inside of Temenga. Temenga gives him a little tap. Very naughty, I would say, but that's just how it is sometimes. Andre should get this done as well. Yeah, he's just gone right past him. I'm not sure why he's flashing his lights, to be perfectly honest. But ayo, there's no. You may as well try and distract the driver if you can. Right. Marco is now really approaching the back of Lloyd Biddulph. So Marco in that front-wheel drive car is just, he's really finding form this time out. He's always been threatening top 10 drivers. At this time he's currently top 8 at the moment. These are the last 2 front-wheel drive cars in this position. As it stands, they are 8th and 7th and 8th. Lloyd ahead in that white car. This is a bright yellow car, the number 8. Honda versus Hyundai. Championship leader versus not the championship leader. Question is, Lloyd's run wide. It's going to be the tyres and it's going to be the ballast. He's 144 points, so he's got points to spare. As in the background you can see, we'll just go past now. You can see they're absolutely really struggling. Marco's past him. He's got to get gone. That ballast is really hindering. Poddy Flack now is on the back of Lloyd as well. Lloyd's job here now for the remaining 4 minutes of this session is just to stay in the top 10. He's got to hold on to that as a position as Marco's run wide. Marco's on the grass. And Marco, all that hard work that Marco did has just been absolutely undone by one corner. And he will lose these next 2 positions. That's a guarantee. Carlo running on board with him is just going to find extra traction around the outside, and he's just going to mug him, and he's just going to disappear. And then right behind that, Andre's going, well, if you're going to have a go at that, Carlo, I'll follow you through as well. And he gets it done. These 2 at the moment, the 2 TZ Sports. Poddy was going to go for the turn and he's run wide. He's going to lose. Oh, very naughty between those 2 drivers. We've got that on the replay. We will have a look at that at the moment. Carlo has just given a bash there to the side of Poddy. We will see how that unfolds after that, but Marco right behind. He's now got to redo all the work that was undone. The problem is Poddy Flack, he's going to get these lot mugged. The rain has started again, so those front-wheel drives might be saving grace here at 2 minutes 52 to go. The problem is, Poddy's just this inconsistency again is really hurting him. It's really hurting him. Andre in the rear-wheel drive car at the moment is just not making the progress we thought he was going to make. Carlo, however, is making lots of progress. He is in 8th position at the moment. He should get this done through this back half of the race. Of the lap, sorry. This should just be a done Dino riding on board now with Carlo. The rain is starting to fall heavy now. The question is, are the drivers, have they cooked their tyres too much? Have they hurt themselves? Has that cost them time? Because Lloyd has managed to start to find a little speed. Sector 1 and Sector 2, he was faster than Carlo on the last lap. Can he hold on long enough? Can he get this done? Championship leader versus someone who's fighting for the championship. This is going to be real key to him now. He doesn't want to be outside top 10. He's currently in 7th because of that mistake from Marco. And that's a gift, really. Poddy Flack is on the back of Marco as well. Is he going to go around the outside? Is he going to send it up there? Is he going to lick the stamp and send it? I don't think he is. He's too far back. He's managed to get a lot better braking. He's managed to close that gap up. The question is now, can he get round through the back half of the circuit? It will be time to tell. But Carlo, at the moment, is now losing time to Lloyd Biddulph. Lloyd now on that last lap did a 1:22.313. Carlo was slower, 1:22.381. So Lloyd has found some speed now. He's just got to hold him off. It is for this lap and one more. That's all he has to do. He doesn't need to be the fastest. Oh, he's just left the door open. Carlo squirming there on the right side. That is the Infinity, that bright yellow, white tin roof. Yeah, that's job done. He squirmed it through, managed to get it done. But Lloyd Biddulph now is holding on to that. There's Romy, who is in 6th position. He's catching his... Not sure who he's catching. Jamie Dory's ahead of him. No. Yeah, he is. But Carlo's got that done. And Andre's got past him as well. Lloyd Biddulph is just going backwards, really. Marco is probably going to lose out to Podiflack as well. Podiflack was as high as up the positions, as makes no difference. At the moment, he's up. Poddy's up 9 positions, starts 19th, finishes 11th. I think there's also a bit of tactics going on there just to stay out of the race. Right, Massimo is catching the back of Daniele. This is the battle for the lead. The question is, can he hold on to this? Andre is on the back of Carlo as well. There's lots of battles unfolding in the final races, final moments of this race. And that's what I was talking about. These 5 have been trading sector times. The question is, can Andre in 8th position attack and gain 7th position? This is the last lap. We're going to follow this through as we hold on to the final closing races. Andre Alberti has won the race at the moment. There you go. Right, we're going to watch this because Lloyd Bidoff is going to get mugged by Marco. Marco's mugged him. But Lloyd will probably be licking his chops because he's right. I'm going to have no ballast on board next time out. So he's going to be super excited. The question is, can Podiflack mug him into club corner? He's got a much better drive coming around the back hand, but he's going to have to absolutely commit and send this and not get any silliness, not let the car slide. Lloyd's gone defensive. He's immediately shut that door. He's saying, you're not coming through, and he's got it done. Does he hold on to 11th, 10th? He holds on to 10th position. Oh, a little squirm there from the BMW. There's a car going the wrong way into a wall. I think that might be Romy. No, it isn't. I'm not sure who that was, but it was one of the drivers. So your race winner was Andre. Didn't even see Alberti. Followed by Daniele in 2nd. Followed by Massimo in 3rd position. Benny Norton is in 4th. You'll be absolutely ecstatic with that. Jamie Dory's 5th. Romy is 6th. Carlo is 7th. Good recovery drive there from Carlo. He was all the way down in 15th as it stands. Andre is into 8th. Up 1, he's happy with that. Marco, superb drive there from Marco. Lloyd, sweet sorrow for him, but he'll be happy to get rid of the points. Lloyd Poddy's in 11th. Phil Gus was 12th. Cloughy is 13th. He gained 13th positions. He is the driver with the most gained positions this time out. Stu Neal 14th. Jean Petra. Fraser Rostans, Alex Ward, Marco, Alon, Anton thingy. So we're going to wait for the official results to come through, and then we will have a look. As it stands, we have to wait for the board to figure itself out. Right, so they have all finished. So your provisional results, as it stands, is Alberti by Daniele. Good drive from Massimo, great drive from Benny. Deserved that at the 4th. Jamie Dory, good drive from Jamie Dory. Up 5 positions, but Benny Norton gained 12. Andre Romy is in 6th. He won't be happy with that. He lost 4 positions. Carlo's in 7th. A good recovery drive from him. Andre's in 8th. Marco is in 9th. Marco, even though he gained 2 positions, he was as high as 6th. He should have finished in 6th, but it is what it is. Lloyd Bidoff in 10th will just be happy to get rid of the ballast. On 11th is Podiflack. Good drive from him. Phil Garside is in 12th. Michael Clough gained 13 positions. Stu Neal in 14th. Won't be happy with that. Thomas Delaney is in 15th. Jean Petra is in 16th. Fraser Rostand. He was up there in quali, and he just didn't materialise in 17th. Alex Wood is 18th. Marco Benatili is in 19th. Alon Axon is in 20th. Then we have Anton Tomenga is DNF. Mark Sykes, DNF. Derek Neal, 9 laps. And then Baz Shaw's and Alesso Mordini, all DNFs. And that's how it stacks up for the end of race 1. I can see quite a few of you watching on stream. Please come and say hi. We don't bite, and it is always nice to talk to people watching the stream. Let me know your thoughts on who you think will be race 2 winner. Realistically, I think race 2 winner could be Benny Norton, just because of the way it stacks up. The servers will go through a reset procedure now. That's why we're being kicked out, because it has to reset. Ballast has to be reapplied, and we all go through that. Right, let's get over to... So, we're going to try and pick up the... I forgot what it's called. There was a app. There it is. We're going to go over to the replay function. And I did pick up a couple of things. So let's have a look at what we got. Did I do? Yes, I did it today. Fantastic. Right. That's got to sort itself out. While that sorts itself out, we will then go over to the next race. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds, and then we will change that up. Right. This is live, like I said. I do say that a lot, but it is live, which means I have to do things as they happen, which is sometimes a little bit, takes a bit of time. We'll keep an eye on that board as it stands. There we go. Right, we're going to hop over to the change some of the settings. It is, we do have to do onboards, so there are absolutely amazing onboards. Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, we can't get them all. But it is one of those things that happen. It is what it is, as I say. So, right. Let's get that back up. So we do use a system called SimHub, and that's what I'm currently using at the moment. So there is it looks like there is an issue with it. Isn't that nice? As always, so we're going to have to close that and then hit the refresh button. As I said, we are live, and because we are live, we always end up with issues. It's doing something really odd, so we'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Otherwise, we will have to... Yeah, it's doing something really weird now. It thinks there are more drivers in here than there are. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. We might have to do some quick refreshing and see how that works. At the moment, we've only got 19 drivers in, which is a bit odd, because we should have the full assortment of drivers. But we will see. Right. We'll see how that progresses, because the session is having a weird moment. Like I said, it does happen from time to time, unfortunately. So if you just bear with us, we will go over and have a look at how we can fix this. It gets a bit upset sometimes in terms of what it wants to do. There's only 17 drivers in. That's why it's doing a really weird, funky thing, as you'd expect. So we're going to close that, and then we're going to go into that, and we're going to reload it. Some great racing there. We are going to go over, while we wait for this, and see if there is anybody on the chat. And let me know your thoughts, as I always do. Yeah, nobody on chat. I can see there's quite a few of you watching. Please come and say hi. See how that stacks up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as always. I think that's what we have to say, like and subscribe. And go from there with it. Yeah, it's having a right moment at the moment, as it is. So we might have to exit the lobby and come back in. Yeah, it's having a right moment. There we go. So we're going to exit. That's what's going on. There's a server reset, and I think we are all good to go now, which is good. It's coming up as qualifying, but that does not matter. Like I said, it does happen from time to time. We have to fiddle with it. It is a good game, actually, but it is very temperamental in what it does. Somebody did ask me, they said, is it quite buggy? The answer to that question is yes, it is a buggy game, unfortunately. But they have now got the new licensing. Well, it's not new, it's the old licensing that they did have. And as a result, it should make it better. Hopefully they can fix some of these issues that they've got with it. The main one is the bugs. That's what it's doing now. It's being very buggy, which is not helpful at all. But it is what it is. So we'll see if we can pick up one of the drivers. There we go. Fraser Rostant's drive on board. It does happen, like I said, from time to time that the game has a moment. And there we go. We are back up and running. Race 2, I think, is going to be super exciting, as it always is. It's 19 minutes, but it isn't 19 minutes. About a 10-minute gap before we go into the next race for these drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up, I think, in terms of the rest of the races for tonight. Right, this is that button I want. So, welcome back to the replay box. So, if you're new to the stream, hello and welcome. to the stream. This is race 2 that's coming up. You'll see at the session time, there's about 18 minutes. There isn't. Realistically, the time moves on in about 10 minutes. But we do have the function to look at some of the action. So we're going to look at the race start that we saw. I don't think anything happened off here. I think it was... this is the incident. We only caught the tail end of it. So, yeah. So the problem was Andre... So what kicked it all off was Andre. So this is Andre there. And Carlo is the car to the left of him. So Carlo started, was in 4th, and he got tagged, basically. Carlo got tagged. So what we see here, and this is what kicked it all off. So Andre goes into the corner, and realistically, I think he probably outbraked himself. So I don't know, because we don't have the onboards, so I can't say for 100% that that's what that was the reasoning. Evening, Simon Trebek, nice to see you. Shame you're not racing, but it is what it is. So he basically outbrakes himself, and then as we progress further, the biggest problem he has is he makes contact with Carlo. There's Carlo. Whoops. So he makes contact with Carlo, and Carlo has nowhere to go but that way. And he spins the car around, and after that, it's just a full passenger service. And they are incredibly lucky they didn't collect anybody. There wasn't a bigger accident. And he manages to get away with it, but by this point, Carlo's just facing the wrong way, and that's the problem. Do I think there's a penalty in that? As it always comes up. Yeah, probably. I'm not sure of the rules and the regulations. Do I think a penalty will be submitted? Probably not, because they're teammates. They're both running on the TZ Motorsport or whatever it is, the TZ Sports. So do I think there's going to be a penalty? Probably not. But I don't think they're going to be too happy with each other. Good recovery drive from Carlo, but it is what it is. Right, this is the Benny Norton pass. He just gets a much better drive. So Stu Neal, what I don't know here, because I know that these two have raced previously in other race series, and they were teammates, and I don't know whether they've just let each other through, because what's a bit peculiar to me is the racing line is here. That's the racing line. But if you watch Stu Neal, he comes over here and goes on basically off the racing line. And that allows Benny Norton to go up the inside and take the position. I don't think he was defending, because if he was defending, he wouldn't be over that side of the race, that side of the circuit. So I know what he's trying to do, but do I think that was? I think that was more of a switch of position than it was an overtake, because I think he was too busy behind that he didn't want to lose that position. So it's a bit tricky for me for that one, but yeah, it's a good overtake from Benny, but I just think it's a bit silly, if I'm honest. This was a bit naughty as well from Temenga. I think it was Temenga that he was overtaking. Yes, this is Anton. This is Carlo and Anton Temenga. So Temenga is that driver there. That's Carlo. And again, I can only look at it from this instance. I can't look at it from on boards and other things as well. So he leaves a car's width, because the ruling is it's a car's width. So that is a car's width. It's more than a car's width. So Temenga has left a car's width here. You can see that from the front of the car. So he's entitled to go through there. The back of Carlos is sliding, and Temenga just hits the side of him. There's the contact. So there. And the problem you have is Yeah, the wheel's turning. So he's actually turning now. It's all going to come into input for that one. But do I think it's a bit naughty? Yes. I do think that's very naughty. Do I think there's a penalty in that? He was going to lose the position anyway. But yeah, it's a bit... That's borderline on that one, to be fair. So he might get a driving standards flag for that one. Or he might, again, depending on inputs, he could have lost the car. So based on what we're seeing there, I'd probably say it'd be a rule. But again, I'm not a steward. I just see it. I just see what I'm saying. But then, likewise, when we look at Carlo, I think this is Carlo on poddy flat. No, that was just Lloyd going off. So Lloyd lost a lot of places because he was running away from Marco. Yeah, there's not a lot in that one, to be honest. And I think this was the overtake. Yeah, so this is a bit of a naughty overtake. So I don't know what that one does. Oh, that's a marker. What does that do? No idea. Huh. There you go. So the problem is that there isn't a lot of room here. So Poddy is going here, and Lloyd is going to follow him through. Now this gap in the middle here is always going to close. That only goes one way, and that is like that. It doesn't go any other way. The problem is that to get past, you're going to have to push your way through. So that's the problem, is the contact. Because as Carlo goes alongside, he basically clouts the side of Poddy. Exactly what happened before in terms of Tamenga on Carlos, same thing as Poddy. And bash. And then Poddy hits the wall, and that's damage. That's full-on damage. Well, not damage, but the car's damage, I suspect. It could not be, it could be a crash. And he gains 2 places, Poddy loses 2 places. Do I think there's a penalty in that if it's submitted? Yes, I do. What the penalty would be is quite tough, because he's lost quite a few places here. But you could argue that Lloyd, it all depends on Lloyd. If Lloyd purposely slowed the car down through that sector, it's kind of Lloyd's the one at fault. But I don't see Lloyd doing that, because I've seen Lloyd race on a number of tracks before. I've seen him race in a number of race series, and he's just not that type of driver. So I wouldn't expect him to do that at all. So for me, the penalty would then come to Carlo, and it would be positions lost or gained. And it's a bit tight on the rules because it wasn't a clean overtake. So it's all going to come down to those factors, I think. So if it is submitted, do I think there's a penalty? Yes, probably there will be. What it is, I don't know. Would it be driving standards? Probably. Because if Tamenga is submitted, and that's submitted, driving standards would be the first thing that would be looked at, really. But yeah, it's one of those, really. The problem is, in this instant, there was a bigger loss to position. So that's going to be a bit tricky, I think. So it depends, because there aren't actually a lot of incidents that are submitted. Right, we're going to go back over to the racing. We're going to go back over now. Nice to see you again, Simon Trebek. Shame you're not racing. I've seen you race in the Trip6 Motorsports series as well. And I've seen you racing in Race Room on some of the older series I used to comment on as well. So, commentate on. So, great racer Simon Trebek is for your Trip6 Motorsport fans. He will be watching that. He is a Trip6 Motorsport fan. So, I would expect him to be supporting the guys in Trip6. But we will see how it stacks up. So we have 35 seconds until we go forward to race 2 of the evening. It is a 20-minute race. And it is based off the starting positions of race 1. It's not a reverse grid. Or it shouldn't be a reverse grid. I think the timing board might be a bit messed up here, because Andre Alberti allegedly is starting 12th. Yeah, okay. So yeah. So they're resetting the session because whoops, crashed. They're resetting the session because I think the start order was a bit messed up there. So we'll see how that stacks up in race 2. Because the race 2 should be the finishing positions from race 1, and then race 3 is a reverse of race 2 finishing positions. Top 6 are reversed, and then positions from 6 to 10 are all done live on draw. So I think there's going to be a server reload as they all sort themselves out, basically. It does happen from time to time, and there you go. There's the server reset, and then everything else will reset itself out as well. But it's a great race. It's going to be a wet weather, I think, for the second race. As we go over now, let's have a little look at the... If you're on the Discord, you can actually see the wet weather conditions. So let's have a look at the weather conditions. Race 2 is going to be light rain showers and a gentle breeze. So do I put my money on the rear wheel drives? Yes, I do. Do I think the front wheel drives are going to struggle? Yes, I do. But again, this isn't a front wheel drive track. It's not a front wheel drive track. So this, I think, is more damage limitation, really, for Lloyd than anything else. But when we get to Thruxton, when we get to Brands Hatch again on the GP circuit, it will be a front wheel drive circuit. So I would expect Lloyd to be absolutely rapid on those tracks. So yeah, that's going to play into that. That's going to be key. So it's just damage. I think it's just damage limitation for him tonight. Really, I don't think he's got. I think he's going to struggle to put himself. I think he's now going to struggle to put himself top 3. Realistically, he's just damage limitation. That's all he has to do now. Because if he can do that, then he can salvage a good night. I mean, Romy's just fast. His saving grace at the moment is Romy's going to have ballast. So, statistically speaking, Lloyd struggled because of ballast in the opening race of the evening. So he's going to have to really think about that now. Really think about where he wants to put the car, where he really wants to, what he wants to do with that now. So it's just going to be a hard choice for him, and the tyres are now going to be a big factor as well, because the rain just doesn't come down immediately. I mean, it was a light shower, but you don't really know when the light shower is going to turn up. So while they sort themselves back out, we're going to go back over to the feed, and then we'll get on that. So it's going to be tricky, I think, really, on who I put my 50p on. I still think the BMWs are mighty fast. There's 22 in, there's 23 in, they're loading in now. So I think it's going to be another BMW 1, 2, and 3. Romy, don't forget, is on 114 points. And let's have a look. He's on 114 points. Yeah, and Lloyd Biddulph's on 145. Mordini has not gone well, and Massimo's closing the gap. So as it stands at the moment, Romy is going faster, but the problem Romy has is he's not winning this thing. He needs to go faster, but Lloyd is just unbelievably mighty in the conditions now, with that lightweight on board as well, because he's shaved off the 75 kilo. So he's not running around with that anymore for this race. But the BMWs will have it. They're going to struggle. But Lloyd has to make progress in the first 10 minutes of this race. He has to get ahead. He has to build a gap of around 4.5 seconds. Because if he doesn't, he's going to struggle. And that's the big ask he's got to do now. So do I think he's going to do it? I don't know. Does he play a tactical game as well? Because with the reverse grid in race 3, being ahead for race 2 compromises you for race 3. So I don't know. It's going to be very, very tricky, I think, for what the drivers have got to do, the way they've got to look at it, the way they're going to have to sort themselves out. And Stu Neal, you know, not really talked about him, but he qualified 7th. He was in the 3rd row. No, he was 4th row, wasn't he? He was 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7th. He was 7th. He was 3rd. He was 4th row on 7th. And he just went backwards. He didn't really find any consistency there, which was a real shame, I think. He's a very good hot lapper, and if he's in the top 3, he's really fast. I've seen that. He can win races, but he's struggling at the moment with that consistency, and he needs to work on that. Massimo is fast. He's 3rd in the championship at the moment, so he's got to work on that. Sorry, 4th in championship. And Carlo's just got to keep himself out of trouble. What we don't have as well is the fast-moving Robert in tonight. I don't think Robert is racing. He's not on the board. Did he come up and say general chat? So Alon Axon coming up as well, and he's saying that his wheel is actually resetting, so we won't see Alex again, unfortunately. So that could explain some of Alon Axon's troubles, especially with Carlo, which we saw earlier. So that could explain that incident, because he's saying his wheel's basically resetting itself constantly. I've seen that happen before. Michael Clough happens to all the time. And he tries to work through that problem. So that would explain the Carlo incident, to be honest. The bad news is he's saying it's a Fanatec. So, yeah, good luck trying to get that one replaced, unfortunately. It's real shame. He's just saying it's 9 days with no support. So, yeah, I think that's going to be troublesome as well. It's a real shame. He was making progress. And he is a fast driver. It's just that would explain that mishap that he had with Carlo. So, I'd explain, you know, that would get that as well. Carlo's got to watch himself, really. He can't afford to get any real penalties, because yes, we're only on round 4 of a 10-round championship, but you can't afford to have any silly mistakes now. You can't afford to have anything that is gonna compromise your speed. But we'll see how it pans out. Really. So I can see quite a few again on the chat. Please come and say hi. Come and talk to us. We're all a friendly bunch. Really, let me know your predictions for race 2. So the session results from race 1, if they still exist. No, they don't. Yes, they do. No, they don't, because they've reset the server. Did I get the starting order? I did press a lot of buttons. So this should be the starting order. Alberti with Daniele, with Bonnie, and Norton is in 4th. Watch out for Norton, I think. He's going to be mighty fast in there. Jamie Dory, I don't know. Romy, 6th. He needs to really work on that. Carlo, I suspect, will go faster. Andre has just got to follow Carlo through, do no silly business. Marco and Lloyd. Lloyd now will be shaving the balance, so we'll keep an eye on that. Poddy Flack has made progress, and Phil Garside is in 12th. So there's going to be some real progress, I think, in terms of the drivers. Mordini as well. He didn't really play into that factor. So Mordini is going to be fast as well. I'm expecting a lot from Mordini, but do I think he's going to be able to extract the maximum? I don't know, because he makes a lot of silly mistakes. That's the problem. So he's in the GRT Sports Team livery BMW. A lot of silly mistakes. Baz as well. Baz was, he was top 12, and he just went nowhere. Shaw's is the unknown, because Shaw's has done a lot of running on Race Room, so he's come across to R Factor 2, so he's going to have to relearn everything. So you see that quite a lot with new drivers coming out, is that they struggle. So it's just Race Room. It's just Race Room. So they're going to struggle a bit. Right, let's go back across to the live feed. The drivers are going to get themselves ready, is what's going to happen in 58 seconds to go. We will go through the starting grid. It is a 20-minute race. If you are just joining us, This is the Nxtgen Btcc Racing Series, round 4, coming from the fantastic Thruxton racing circuit. Weather is fair at the minute. It is a 32 track temperature, 12 air temperature. I am your broadcaster and your director. I am Andy Pauly, and that is me. I have no idea what I played there, but there we go. There's a whole bunch of functions on this. I don't know what they do, but there we go. So all the drivers are going to get themselves lined up and ready on the starting on the grid. Let's go through your starting order. The starting order is Alberti, followed by Daniele, Massimo, watch out for Massimo, expect race winner, Benny Norton, row alongside him on row 2. Row 3, we've got Jamie Dory, followed by Romy. Dory should have finished higher, watch out for him. Carlo and Andre beside him on row 4. On row 5, we have Marco, followed by Lloyd Biddulph. Then we have row 6, Poddy flanked by Phil Garside. Watch out for Poddy and watch out for Phil. On row 7, Michael Clough moving forwards. Stu Neal moving backwards, so he needs to work on that, really. Thomas Delaney is alongside Fraser Rostance on row 8. On row 9, we have Alex Ward and Marco Benatili. Done really well on the open round at Donington, not so well now. Mark Sykes and Derek Neal alongside on row 10. Row 11 is Baz, followed by Shaw's User. And row 12, we've lost 2 drivers. We have Mordini. Mordini should be higher than that, so we'll keep an eye on him as it progresses for the rest of the race. Romy, there we are, running on board now. He's right behind Jamie Dory, and we've got Benny Norton. They're gonna have to go through their tyre warming procedures, get the cars ready, get everything set up to go. Benny Norton they need to be closer than this. The problem is Benny Norton's 2.7 seconds behind the car ahead, and he's got to close that gap up. He's 3.1 seconds now. So they're going to go through their tyre warming procedures. He needs to be careful, because anything over 5 to 6 seconds, he could end up with a penalty, because he's effectively, purposely cooling the car tyres down. 6.87 seconds now. He's basically miles behind. So the guys at the front will be starting to get their grids sorted, but he needs to close that gap. He needs to get it down now to 4 seconds. So they're going through their tyre warming procedures. They're all going to pull up to the grids. The leaders are now just pulling up. You can see Jamie Dory in the background. Carlo there is going to have to find his grid box and put the box car in the box. Andre Romy, keep an eye on him. That will be very fast moving for the second half of this race. Right. Keep an eye on the screen, keep everything ready. We will see where they end up. Watch out for the flags on the left on the wave to go. Let me know your predictions on who you think is going to be race winner. There is race 2. It's a 20-minute race. We have a mix of hard and wet tyres. The pole sitter is on a hard tyre. So that's going to be interesting to see, because it isn't wet. It is definitely wet now. So has Alberti done the wrong tyre choice? That's going to be interesting to see. I think he might have here, but we will find out in the next minute or so. Driver in the pits that will have to sort themselves out and will basically flip over onto the right side because they go in the pits. I think he's changing tyres. Yeah, there's a couple of drivers changing tyres, which is why Fraser Rostance is changing the tyres. That's why it's showing up as in the pits, but he isn't actually in the pit. So, who am I going to put my money on? Massimo or Benny Norton? Massimo or Benny Norton is where I'd put my money. Yeah, Alberti's just changed to the wet tyres. So, yeah, it's all set to go. 3 seconds to go. Lights out. Hold on to your horses, and away we go for race 2 of the Nxtgen Racing Series. Benny Norton has had a really horrific start from 4th. Jamie Dory's had an amazing start in the background, but it's going to be absolutely coated in wet weather everywhere. So they're going to have to be very careful now into turn 1. Anybody makes a mistake, anybody runs wide. Yes, there's one of the front wheel drives off already. You cannot go 3 wide into this corner. Do they all start to sort themselves out? A little bit of a tap in the background at the moment, holding it in. There is Lloyd Biddulph. He's alongside Jamie Dory. A car sliding off in the background once again. Another massive accident. That's Carlo right down the back of the grid once again. And another BMW. That's Podiflak, I think. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. It's Carlo and Podiflak both spinning off at the back of the grid. So it's reset for those. They're going to have to make progress. But Michael Clough right there actually making a little bit of progress there. He's going to go alongside the fast-moving Phil Garside. Phil Garside just ahead. There he is. Front-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. Michael Clough relishing these conditions. In the background there, you've got a bunch of other front-wheel drives. The rear-wheel drive there of Mordini has made progress. He's up at the moment 8 places in this race. Can he get any higher? Can he go forward any further? That's going to be the big question he has today. Michael Clough didn't really catch up to the back of Garside in that closing stages, but Andre is alongside. He's had an accident. He's had an accident all by himself, so he loses 1, 2, 3, 4 positions in the background. Marco and Thomas Delaney are side by side. Rear wheel drive versus front wheel drive is actually Thomas Delaney and Mordini. Mordini up 9 places now, up 12 places, sorry, making progress. Delaney there in the front wheel drive is going to not give this position up lightly. The question is he going to hold on to it? Through the right side he goes. No, he doesn't. He loses that position. Job done there. Torlaska right on board with him now. He's in 7th. He is fighting 7th place man just ahead. That is Phil Garside. Michael Clough was chasing him, but he had to avoid that accident. That's cost him a position, but he's up 4, so he is making progress at the moment. But Andre Torlasko is absolutely on the limit of adherence. Not adherence, that's a whole different thing. Is on the thing with the sticky tyres. There he is in 8th position. Absolutely through the right-hander he goes. You can still Jamie Dory just ahead as well. He's also applying the pressure on this at the moment to the back of Andre Romy. The ballast here is going to be absolutely manic. And as you see, the BMW there of Andre is just going to sail this up the inside. He's just so much faster, so much more confidence, and he's got a lot less weight. That's going to be key here. Job done, tick the box, off he goes. Next target on the road. Question is, can Phil Garside hold on to this? No, he's already lost. He's already lost a whole heap of place. No, he hasn't. He's alongside. He's fighting back on the old switcheroos. So Andre hasn't given up the position. He hasn't got the position. He's turned his lights off because he thinks he's got it done. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. Benny Norton there trying to fight for 3rd position as he goes right round the outside. I told you to watch out for Lloyd. Lloyd has checked himself out into 3rd position. So at the moment, Lloyd is coming up as 3rd on the board. Where's Massimo? Massimo's miles ahead. So Lloyd is coming up 3rd on the board. He's finding Daniel Garcia ahead. Andre Romy's behind, and Benny Norton is fighting him with Jamie Dory. So the top 5 at the moment are absolutely scrabbling and squabbling all for positions. But Michael Clough is once again onto the back of Phil Garside. And you can see here, he has a real opportunity to get maybe 1 or 2 drivers. It's Clough, Garside, Torso, and Dory, all nose to tail in this battle, with Benny Norton holding the entire crew up at that front position. That's the battle that's going on. This is all the way from 9th to 5th position at the moment. All drivers on wet except the 2 Fraser Rostants, who's on the hard tyre. As you see there's an old switcherooly there from the 2 BMWs. That's Mordini and Benatili swapping positions. That was a tactical switch in the background if I've ever seen it. But back into the battle now for what is effectively 7th position. As you see here, Michael Clough is once again applying pressure to the driver ahead, which is Phil Garside. Phil Garside joined in Brands Hatch. He missed the opening round of Donington. He was always top 3. Lloyd Bidoff, that's not going to work through there. But he's quite lucky it's front wheel drive versus front wheel drive, because if it was front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, but that's cost him. That's cost Michael Clough, which allowed Mordini to come alongside. But Mordini should mug him. This is a job done, really, basically. Andre Romy. So this is the battle for the last of the podium positions. Lloyd Bidoff just ahead. Front wheel drive car. This is a rear wheel drive car, BMW. Romy there, 2 championship leaders, these 2. Lloyd is in 1st. Romy's currently in 2nd. Following Snetterton, 100 and whatever it is, points versus 114 points, 31 points difference. That's the math as it stacks out at the moment. Romy should get this done. That rear wheel drive in these conditions is just a superior car. Jamie Dory should get past Benny Norton as well, and he's done it. Lloyd, I think, like I said, Lloyd's on a recovery drive as it stands at the moment. He just needs to be the highest placed front-wheel drive car. Mordini has now cleared the back of Michael Clough, I say that as he puts 2 wheels coming out that corner. And Phil Garside should get mugged now as well. That should be job done, really. I don't think there's going to be anything really to stop him. Rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive in these conditions, it's just going to be job done as he goes round up the inside through the right-hander, and it is, yeah, job done. A little bit of a push there on the way out. We'll have a look at that post-race, but yeah, it's job done. Not really going to hold on to that. Benny Norton is once again onto the back of Jamie Dory. So Benny Norton lost 2 places. Jamie Dory holding on to 5th. But as these two squabble, as 5th and 6th position, 5th is that number 13, 6th is the number 24. As these two squabble for positions, that's allowing Lloyd Biddulph in 4th place to make hay as the wind doesn't shine. And he's managing to just slowly creep himself forward, slowly get himself faster and faster. That's the only thing that's going to save Lloyd now, because those rear-wheel drives in these conditions are just absolutely mighty. As Benny Norton runs off the road, Norton's run off the road. He managed to just hold on to that position enough. But Jamie Dory riding on board with Lloyd. Was meant to be on board with Dory, but there we go. Dory should just get done. They just closed up on Lloyd. Lloyd just can't get the car stopped and rotated quickly enough. The BMWs at the moment are they've just got so much better drive coming out the corners. And they've just ticked the box and driven away with it. And he loses another position. He's on a full recovery drive, a full points damage limitation drive, because last week at Snetterton he was on fire. And it's there's contact there between the two drivers. Benny Norton got taken out, I think, by Mordini, and that was Andre Tolsa. Yeah, Tulasco, Andre. So I did get that post-race. I think there might be a bit of an incident in that one. So he's caught himself up in that incident, which he didn't want to do because it's not going to help his championship position. Carlo is on the back of Alex Ward. Alex hasn't really progressed that much further. There's Baz in the background, best looking car, Baz, in 16th position. So Carlo once again on a recovery drive. There will be damage to that car because I don't think all 4 wheels are pointing in the same direction, and if they were, it would really be hurting. Marco is alongside again with Phil Garside. Phil Garside's just going backwards. Front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive at the moment. The rain has stopped, but it's a rear wheel drive circuit. So he's going to try and do a lunge up the inside, front wheel drive left side from Marco, but Marco is in that front wheel drive Honda car on the right. The car on the left is the rear wheel drive, and his job done. And in the background you can see Michael Clough is trying to hold off the fast moving Mordini. I say fast moving Mordini, he's got it done. Shaw's User is off the track again, and he's retired in the background. Clough will try to hold on to this, try to fight him as much as he can, but yeah, it's not going to work really. That's going to be job all over. Carlo is now on the back of Marco. This should be job done. Benny Norton is on the back of Thomas as well. So the rear wheel drives at the moment are just the car of choice as it goes up the inside. This should basically be nip and tuck, job done. Serge Pulli all the way through. He's going to be absolutely chuffed with that, and it's job done. That's another position gained. Benny Norton is on the back of Thomas Delaney. That is the front wheel drive Thomas Delaney just ahead, riding on board now with Benny Norton. Through the long right hand of Egon. He's let off the brakes a little bit there. I think he's trying to set him up to allow Thomas. That rear wheel drive is struggling. He can't get the power down, and he's started to search out the wet weather again, because at the moment they're going to run around for the last 10 minutes of this on dry, basically in the changeable conditions. And he's just run all that's going to go one way into the barrier. Oh, he needs to be really careful here, and that's just game over. He had an accident all by himself there, and that was just pushing the car too much, and that's compromised him. Andre Romy is attacking and approaching the back of Daniele. Now, these two are teammates, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of them they let go, because Romy really needs to get the points here if he wants to be anywhere near Lloyd, because the gap's difference, Lloyd's not that far off. He's in 5th, and he can continue to do that and continue to hold that position. So realistically, Romy has to be replaced, has to replace Danielle in that position. Massimo is 2.13 seconds ahead, and Massimo is lapping slower than Romy. So Romy, at the moment, holds the fastest lap at a 1:22.347 as we ride on board with him now. So he needs to get this done in the next 3 minutes, realistically, if he wants any chance of getting another race victory this season. Will that happen? Don't know. 10 minutes to find out. Actually, 8 minutes to find out. But Mordini's going a bit faster now in the background. He is closing the gap to Lloyd. Lloyd did a 1:25.03.65. Last lap, this man did a 1:22. He must have gone off the road somewhere. Must have gone off the road right on the board now with Mordini. So Lloyd is following the back of Marco. That's the car ahead, and this is Mordini. So he is sandwiched at the moment between, again, another set of teammates. You've got the GRT, then you've got T6 and GRT. So is that going to play into it? Yeah, he's just got that job done, really. He's just sailed it up the inside. he sailed it up the inside. I think Lloyd's saving grace here is that he's hoping that there's a reverse grid. So Lloyd into 8th he goes. He's just going backwards now. Next behind him is the front wheel drive. His nearest one is going to be Carlo, but I don't think there's going to be any real progress on that. Romy is losing out. 7 minutes to go. That last lap was a 1:22.174. Jamie Dory was actually fastest in 4th position on a 1:22.173. He's got to go faster. Romy needs to get this done because Lloyd's only in 8th. He's not that far away. And with 7 minutes going, again, it's showers with dry spells and it's drying up. So the BMWs, again, will have the advantage in these changeable conditions. But as it stands at the minute, and Massimo at the front as you ride on board now, he's got to get this done. He has to get this done now. I told you, the next 3 minutes. Is he going to be allowed to go past? Yes, he is. So that's an old tactical. That's a tactical switch, which is perfect for what he needs to do. Because if he hadn't have done that tactical switch, that man there in 2nd place would not have the opportunity to attack Massimo. Massimo, who's leading this race at the moment, is on a 1:22.840. That was his last lap, and he's lapping on average in the 1:24.8s to the 1:23.1s. Romy's a bit all over the place because Romy at the moment doesn't have the lap, and there's his best lap, a 1:22.8 versus a 1:21.9. Massimo is slower than Romy, but has Massimo been saving his tyres? That's what's going to be crucial here. Jamie Dory's going faster again, and he's closing the gap now. 27.271 in that last sector, 0.5 of a second faster than anybody in that sector. But, right, we're going to leave that battle and join the Carlo-Michael Clough battle, which isn't really going to be a battle. He's just going to drive past him. And again, 2 teammates switcheroo. Mordini is being let through by Marco. So the 2 teammates at the moment, there's some big team games going on because Andre is right behind him. There is Andre. You can see in the background Lloyd Biddulph has got Phil Garside alongside him, but they're not really challenging at the moment. And with these remaining so Tom Delaney is attacking the back of Marco. Marco is that bright yellow car with the blue wing mirrors, the TZ Honda Accord, the second car in the row. That is Thomas Delaney. New this time out. He is being challenged well again by Baz, who's actually alongside him in the little Toyota. It's Toyota versus the front wheel drive. Seat versus the front wheel drive Honda. 3 front wheel drives. Absolutely nose to tail as they go through that first corner. You can see Michael Clough as well. That's Lloyd Biddulph at the moment. Sorry, that's not Lloyd Biddulph. That's a lapping Michael Clough as it stands at the moment. So Baz, that little mistake there has cost Thomas the lead. The position. The question is, can Baz, riding on board with him now, can he get this deal done? Can he go through this? A little bit of a squirm there through the left-hander. Just needs a little bit more confidence, and he will go forward. He's getting faster and faster. That's the key. The lead at the front is now 0.4 of a second. That's kind of holding stations at the moment. Romy has passed Massimo for the lead. We missed that because I was watching another battle, but he's made it effectively. Yeah, it was a mistake in Sector 3. So he just basically made a mistake. And unfortunately, Ronnie got the job done. And he needed it. That's Derek Neal slowly going around. Mark Sykes and Shaw's User are both DNS. The rain's coming back, but I don't think that's really going to hinder anybody at the moment. I think it is what it is. So with less than 5 minutes remaining of race 2, now it's going to be about holding on to these positions. The field's a little bit spread out. Phil Garside is on the back of Lloyd Biddulph. The question is Lloyd, a little bit of a contact there, but right behind that is Carlo. Carlo is faster than both of these. So at the moment, Carlo riding on board with him, he is fighting the 2 cars ahead, and that is a front-wheel drive and a front-wheel drive. This is rear-wheel drive. This, at the moment, is the superior car of choice. This is the car that you want to be in as he sleds it sideways. Lloyd is just struggling, but he's struggling against front-wheel drive cars. He's lost 2 positions in that one corner. So Lloyd is struggling against cars that he shouldn't really be struggling against. So I'm wondering if something's broken. I'm wondering if there's something else going on there. I do know the update is a bit of a problem, but Carlo's going to get this done. He's going to go upside the inside of Phil Garside. Phil will try to fight it, but I don't think that's really going to cause him any issues. No, it isn't. That was going to be a done deal. Carlo is rear-wheel drive. He's just faster at the moment. Behind that, I believe that is Benny Norton, the recovering Benny Norton. As it stands at the moment. Yeah, Poddy Flack is currently in 16th. Is that Poddy? No, it's not Poddy. Alex Ward is down there as well. So yeah, the field's a bit spread out at the moment. Daniele is trying to attack the back of Massimo as well. With 2 minutes 37, they'll get 2.5 more remaining laps. But the field is now pretty spread out as it stands for the remaining 3 minutes of this race. The changeable conditions have favoured some and hindered others. And that's the problem you're going to get. Now, the question is it going to be a 1-2 finish for the GRT guys against the TZ guys? That's the problem, the yellow car versus the red car. Which one is going to be superior? Is it going to be a 1-2 finish? You can see Jamie Dory is also being hunted down in the background by Massimo as well. No, sorry, Jamie Dory's just in 4th position. He's overtaking a lapped car of Derek. So it's going to be tricky. The wet weather did materialise, but not in the same way. Daniele down there in 3rd at the moment. He is applying some pressure. Thomas Delaney is on the back of Maz. Maz on the back of Baz. Baz did pass him. We saw that go through, but he's not really making any progress from there. Lloyd has been passed by Phil Garside. We saw that as well, but I don't think he's really going to get anything from that position. Lloyd, he's just not having a good day. It's just not a good day at the races for him. So I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if he's been able to do the practice. We do know about the updates, but I'd expect more of him, if I'm honest. I'd expect a lot more from that position. He's down in 10th. He is now slowly starting to attack Phil Garside ahead. He's got to get it done on this lap. It's a 1 minute lap at the moment. The leaders are near as that makes no difference, about 10 seconds ahead. They're about 20 seconds ahead, so we might get one more lap at this. The problem is that you've got BMW, and I believe that is Poddy Flack. No, it isn't. That is a recovering Benny Norton. That's a recovering Benny Norton in the back. He had that massive off in the background, and that cost him vital time. And as a result, he's now down in 20th position. So as it stands at the moment, Thomas is still on the back of Baz. Is Thomas going to be able to do this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he is. 22 seconds remaining of the final of race 2. It's all pretty stagnant at the moment as we come into the final closes because the changeable conditions. I think that is all over at the moment. This man has got 6 seconds to go through the final half of the lap. We'll watch Andre Romy complete another race victory. He will be ecstatic with that because he needs it to close the gap to Lloyd. Lloyd will still be leading the championship, I believe, but he won't be leading it by more than 20 points. All dependent on race 3. So that is all to play for, really. as he comes through in his final couple of corners. He's up 5 places, Romy is. Massimo was up 1, but he was leading for over 50% of the race, and then he just lost it. He made one little mistake. And we've seen that before. We saw that at Brands Hatch and we saw it at Donington in those changeable conditions. But Romy is going to come home to take another race victory in the Nxtgen Btcc Racing Series. As he comes to cross the line, he will be 2.4 seconds ahead of Massimo, who should have won that race. He should have won that race, but it is what it is. He defends Daniele. Jamie Dory will come home in 4th. A very unentertaining race for him, really. Jamie Dory, he's up 1. And Mordini up 18 places. 18 places he's up at the moment, followed by the remaining of the field, which will be Marco, Andre, Carlo, Phil. This is Michael Clough. Behind him is, another Marco. So he brings the car home in 11th position. Then you have Baz, who will come home in 12th. Thomas Delaney, 14th. Poddy recovered to 15th. Andre Alberti down 15 places. It's that opening lap, that opening corner is in 16th. Alex Ward will bring the car home in 17th. Fraser Rostance, Derek Neal, Benny Norton, Stu Neal, Mark Sykes and Jules User will stack up the rest of the field. A couple of DNFs. We're going to watch Stu Neal as he crosses the line. And brings the car home. And that's how it stacks up from the final, race 2 of the evening. The conditions, I think, caught a lot of the drivers out. It was stacking up to be a great closing 5 minutes, and it kind of fizzled out, really. And again, it's because of the changeable conditions, which will always cause multiple ill shifts, really. So Andre Romy from Massimo, followed by Daniele, followed by Jamie Dory. 4th is Mordini, 5th is Marco, 5th is Andre, 6th is 8th is Carlo. Phil is 9th, Lloyd Biddulph is 10th. In 11th position we have Michael Clough, 12th is another Marco, 13th is Baz, 14th is Delaney, 15th is Flack, 16th is Alberti, 17th is Ward, 18th is Rostance. Derek Neal is in 19th, Benny Norton is in 20th position. 21st is Stu Neal, Mark Scythe is classed as 22nd on a DNF, and Shaw's Usa is 23rd. And that's how it stacks up for the final, for race 2, as they all dive into the pits. Right. While they sort themselves out, we are going to go across to the spinning wheel of fortune. So, for race 2, for race 3, if you're new to the stream, for race 3, 1 to 6 are reversed, automatically reversed. 7th to 12th is all based off the spinning wheel, basically. So that will determine the starting order for race 3. We do it live on stream, and that will determine where we go. So you will find out when I find out. We're going to hit that wheel, and that will tell us who is going to start on the front roll, and it's going to be position... Go on, stick at 12, stick at 12, stick at 12! No, it is position 6. So Massimo will be on pole position. Oh, no, it won't. So position 6 will be the starting order of, will be the person on pole position, which, if my data is still here, whoever finished in 6th will be starting role. Right, let's go over to the feed as I write that back in. I have to write it in, and then we will back to have a look at some of the replays. So we did have a few of the replays, and that made it very, very tricky. It was those changeable conditions. The changeable conditions, unfortunately, caught a lot of the drivers out. And as a result, that really, really, I think, hindered the progress of a lot of them. It's a tough position to go in. So, yeah, we'll see how that stacks up. Right. While the game sorts itself out, they're going to have to go into the game. So we'll see that. That's down there. We'll see how that stacks up. Right. Let's go over to see the replays that we got. So we did get some replays. So let's go to the opening lap. We have to wait for that to sort itself out. So this is the start. Is there anything in this? No, they all got themselves through. But again, this is what I was talking about. The BMWs, there's just... Yeah, they're just not good starters. They're really struggling at the moment. So if you actually watch... That's the one I want. So if you watch this one here, what you'll notice is the amount of places that Daniele loses. That's the problem at the moment, is that he goes forward, and as they launch the car, Daniele loses 1, 2, 3. He loses a couple of places. By this corner, he's lost 3 places. And that's how Massimo got the lead as well, because this is the problem Alberti had. It's the same problem Alberti had at Snetterton. So this is Alberti. He's the BMW in the lead. And he constantly has issues getting off the start line. He's lost on every start at least 1 place. And this just cost him that opportunity. Now, Romy did eventually come through and take the victory, but this was Alberti's to win, really. And you see Massimo gets a lovely toe up here. There you go. He gets a lovely toe. He comes out. Alberti has bogged down again. And Massimo just goes, oh, I'm just going to go out the inside. The same problem with Daniele, that's Daniele. That's Daniele here. And Daniele has the same problem. On average, is losing 1 to 2 places at every single start. And that is costing them the opportunity of taking the lead. And he's lost 2 places. Jamie Dorey gets an absolutely superb start, gets himself all the way up into 4th position. So Jamie Dorey gained a position and then has just stuck with it. So they need to work on those race starts. Alberti, the ZT boys and the GRT boys need to work on those race starts. They can't afford to lose 2 to 3 positions on every single race start they go to, because it's costing them vital time and vital places, and then they're having to fight their way through. So I think they're struggling, to be honest. I think they need to work on that, because if they don't, they're going to really... I think that could cost them the championship. And then they're having to do all the work again. So they need to have a look at that, really. This is the accident. I think we caught the tail end of it. So is that what... Yeah, so what started the incident... Again, it's very scruffy. It's very scruffy. So Carlo, this is Carlo, goes for the racing line, and you've got a BMW alongside him, basically. Now, the rule of thumb is that I always work to, for those of you that follow me in stream, he raced with a hard tyre, I think. That could be why. I think it was wet. I could be wrong. I could be wrong there. Don't quote me on that, Alessandro. I'll have to look. Oh, I can have a look on here. No, they're all wet. All wet tyres. All wet tyres. So, be interesting to give me some insight if that's what's the issue in terms of the starting. But he was on the wet, so I don't know. So, this is the incident that we saw that caused all the incidents to stick off with. So, Carlo is... That's Carlo. That's... the driver I've completely forgot the name of. Somebody will... Alberti. That's Alberti. That was our pole sitter. That's how far Alberti went down. And he's entitled to the racing line. I think that's just a misjudgment. It is. So there's the contact off stream. Again, it's all going to come into tyre input, that one. And also, was there contact? Because what we don't see is this part here. Whoops, that part there. What we don't see is the contact at the rear. There could be contact at the rear. And if there is contact at the rear, then that's going to be tricky. So from that camera angle, I can't really see what there was. It's the opening corners. Should there be more room left? Yes, probably. Is he entitled to that position? Yes, he is. So that one I would have to, if it was submitted, it'd have to be referred to the stewards. But they're teammates. Those two run around in the same team. So the problem is, do I think there's going to be anything submitted? Probably not, because it's the same team. But that's a tricky one. That would be for the stewards to decide. This one, was this the dive? No, this was Cloughy's overtake on Garside. Yeah, and this was the problem. His little tap, this tap here, this small tap on the back of that car there, that little tap, cost Cloughy the position. Basically, a Mordini who's entitled to go up that corner. Was it a hard move? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was really. He kind of pushed his way in by there. So Mordini really shouldn't be in that position. He shouldn't. That's a push to pass, realistically, because he wasn't alongside into the braking zone. He's turning into the corner, and the only way you're going to end up there is by having an accident. So again, you need to see more on that, but do I think Cloughy would have lost the position anyway? Yeah, 100% I do. I don't think he would have held on to that position past that anyway, so we'll see how that stacks up. Right, we're going to go across back to the feed while we set it up, ready for the final race of the evening. Let me know your predictions for the final race. We will go through to the starting grid. My money is going to be on Jamie Dorey. That's where I'm putting my money. My money's going to be on Jamie Dorey because he's just, at the moment, he's just fast. And if there's some changeable conditions, I think he'll do really, really well. But it's all going to come down. It's all going to come down to whether or not he can get a good start. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. We're seeing those drivers that are able to get a good start are being able to basically drive away at the moment. And that's the problem, is that those drivers that are just not having a good day, they're struggling. They're really, really struggling. And I think we're seeing that more and more now. So, yeah, I think they're going to have to really think about that. They're going to have to think about where they place the car. They're going to have to think about those risks. They're going to have to really, really think about all the different things that they can do. We're going to have to reboot this. We'll keep that one up and running for now. Just purely because the timing screen has gone a bit weird. So we'll load that back up. So it's going to be tricky, I think. It's going to be really, really tricky for the drivers. Lloyd's just got to have a recovery drive. He's just got to get into a position where he can score as many points as humanly possible, to be perfectly honest. Because if he doesn't, he's going to lose a whole host of points. And that's going to really hamper him in his championship. So he's got to really think about that. He's really got to think about where he wants to place the car. Does he want to get himself involved? Non-essential personnel leave the grid now. So yeah, he's going to have to play the long game here, really. He's really going to have to think about it. He's going to have to think about what he wants to do. I have no idea why the session is in the middle there. For those of you that are asking that question, why is timing in the middle of the screen? I have no idea. It is not having a good day. But there we go. It's one of those things, really. So they'll have to figure that out. We'll have to figure that out as it goes through the final race of the evening. Predictions, I think, is going to be very difficult on who we think is going to be winning. Better don't say nothing. Massimo and Carlo can kill me if I bring in bad luck. So we have Alessandro there is saying that is basically not wanting to jinx. I presume you are supporting Massimo and Carlo in this. So good luck to them. Actually, I think they are absolutely cracking drivers. Massimo, it was his, like I said before, it was his race to win. It was his race to win that one, and unfortunately he just lost out ever so slightly, but we'll see how it goes. Carlo's just been unlucky, so we'll see how that stacks up. So the starting order for the final race of the evening is Marco Bentili is alongside Mordini. Mordini has a real opportunity here to take a race victory. Jamie Dory as well. Daniele is in 4th position on row 2. Row 3 is Massimo alongside Andre Romy. Watch those two, they will be fast. Row 4 we have Andre Torlosco followed by Carlo in position 8. On row 5, Phil Garside with Lloyd Biddulph. On row 6, Michael Clough and Marco. Watch out for Marco, I think he can make real progress here. On row 7, Baz follow alongside Delaney. On row 8, we have Podiflack and Andre Alberti. Alberti's got progress to make, so watch an eye out for him. On row 9, we have Alex Ward and Fraser Rostance. Those two are nowhere today. I'm very surprised by that. Row 10, Derek Neal and Benny Norton on a recovery drive now on row 10. And Stu Neal and Mark Sykes bringing up row 11. We have lost a couple of drivers from tonight, but that does happen from time to time. If you are just joining us, this is the final race of the Nxtgen Btcc series, round 4. We are coming from the Thruxton race circuit. There we go. Oh, that's where it goes. So now I know where this goes. There we go. So in this race, for whatever reason, it tells you the length of it. It's 2.35 miles. It's the Thruxton racing circuit in Hampshire, and there's all the other bits. So I have no idea why it does it in that one, but there you go. Somebody can tell me that. We're going to ride on board a little bit with Derek Neal as he brings up the field. Hugh is down in 19th position. Benny Norton is right behind him. There he goes. I'm not sure why the camera angle has done that, but it is. We can't change it now. It is what it is. So this is going to be the final race of the evening for the drivers and for me. It's 20 minutes. My money is on. My 50p is going to be on. Some of the drivers are changing tyres. It's too late now. 21 left, and it's lights out, and away we go. And at the moment, Marco has got the perfect start at the front. In the background, it's dry at the moment. A lot of cars running around on those dry tyres. The question is there going to be key? Is it going to rain? You can see the fast-moving Andre in the background in number 6. Is he going to slide it up the inside? Is he going to go full send? No, he doesn't. He holds on to it as Carlo has made progress. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there from Romy. Romy's not going to enjoy that as Massimo has made superior progress into 2nd position. Behind that, you've got Jamie Dory in 3rd. And at the moment, Lloyd Biddulph is holding on to 8th position perfectly in the background. The question is, can he do anything from here as they're all sorting themselves out? Jamie Dory is under attack from Daniele. Here's Daniele riding on board now. What can Daniele do? The rain has started again, so it's been changeable conditions. And once again, it's changeable again. And Massimo is trying to do all he can as Jamie Dory is going to get mugged here by Daniele. Daniele's mugged him. He's checked himself out. Behind that, Carlo now. He's going to try and mug Jamie Dory. Jamie Dory is that next Gen 13 car, but Carlo has Andre Romy as his own problems. So at the moment, all these drivers, there's a little bit of a brake slip there. Has he managed to get the car stopped? Jamie Dory was the lockup. Gets it done. Lloyd Biddulph started 10th into 7th position. So he's managed to get himself forward a little bit further. He's going to be wanting to do that because his championship is all going to be riding on this now. So he's got to sort this out. He's got to get this done. Jamie Dory has been passed by Romy. I told you to watch out for Romy. Romy is he's on this. He needs to get gone. At the moment, Massimo is also hounding first place man Marco Bentili. Bentili is going to want that position. He wants to be a winner, but the problem Massimo has is that he's stuck now in a massive pile of rear-wheel drive BMWs all for the same team. First, third and fourth, all for the same team. Carlo needs to make progress. Lloyd Biddulph, he's trying to make progress now against the guy ahead. That is Jamie Dory in 6th. His teammate Jamie Dory is leading. Phil Garside is making progress at the moment, but not enough. As it unfolds, he needs to get gone. Fraser Rostance is closing onto the back of Stu Neal and Thomas Delaney. That's Thomas Delaney. Well, he was until he went sideways across the curb, and that's allowed Andre Alberti to make progress. There's Alberti riding on board, fastest in Sector 1, 27.274. He's making progress. Is he going to go up the inside? He commits. Full send into there. Gets it done. Fraser Rostan sees him coming and says, I'm not fighting you. I'm not risking it. Ticks the box. Checks himself out. Next position he goes. Massimo, 0.3 of a second off. We're keeping an eye on this battle as it unfolds. This is the extended battle at the moment for 16th position, 11th position. So Alberti is already making progress. He's 0.3 of a second ahead of the man behind. That is Fraser Rostant. But he's run wide there. He's run wide. Thomas Delaney run wide. That's surely going to allow that fast-moving BMW to make progress through that left-right corners. Does he get it done? Yes, he is. He's flashing his lights because he's saying, I'm coming, but he's not coming fast enough. That's the problem he's got. Well, he is now. He's just sent it full send up the inside. Oh, Jamie Dory! Jamie Dory's had an accident. He's gone off in the background. There he is. He rejoins Jamie Dory. He's going to be livid with that. He was top 10. That's cost him time. Fraser Rostans, is he going to be able to get past 11th place man Thomas Delaney? Is he going to be able to do that? I don't know, but we are going to find out. He's gone full send here. He's holding on to it just enough. But has he done enough? I don't think he has. It's going to be reset all over again with 15 minutes remaining of race 3. Riding on board now with Fraser Rostans. As you see, the Seat ahead, moving left, moving right. Keeps it on the track just enough. Massimo is now in the lead by 1.9 seconds. Andre Romy is coming alongside his teammate. Is he going to let him through? That's going to be the question. Yeah, he is. It's reset all over again. So Romy is wanting to get first position. But look at Carlos. Carlo is making progress. Carlo here is 0.6 of a second away from third position. It is 2 rival teams now in first, second, third and fourth. They occupy the top 4 positions. This man here has to get the driver ahead. He needs to get this done. Alberti is alongside Phil Garside. There he is. Oh, contact between the 2 drivers. One little touch and the other one managed to just hold on to it. Phil Garside then tabbed the side of Alberti, which put Alberti straight again. And in the background, there's another BMW. Andre has gone off. He's managed to keep all 4 wheels pointing in the right direction. But those changeable conditions are now starting to catch out some of these rear-wheel drive BMWs. Lloyd Biddulph is kind of on his own at the moment. He's 4 seconds ahead of the man behind, and he's 1 second behind the man ahead. So it is nowhere near. Phil Garside is coming up as a retirement on the board. Yeah, he's retired to the pit, so he's game over. Andre Alberti is going to go around the side of Michael Clough. Andre Tulsa is going to get. You're not going to go through there, Ross. That's just not going to happen. It gives him a little bit of a love tap. A little bit naughty, I think, there from Rostance. But it is what it is. It'd be interesting to see if that was on the steward's board. But, right, Daniele is now attacking the back of Romy. So Romy hasn't made the progress that he needed to make. At the moment, Massimo is leading. And Massimo is doing the job he needs to do. That's the problem. Alex Ward changes places with Mark Sykes in 14th. Andre has retired. So there is a high retirement, as there always is in this type of racing. And that's the problem we've got now, is that there is some drivers on hard, some drivers on wet. Lloyd Biddulph has spun the dice on the hard tyres, seems to be paying off. He's closing the gap on Marco Bentili as it stands at the moment. Andre Romy is in second position. I think he made a mistake on that last lap. He did go fastest on a 1:20.923. But he's got to really make progress if he wants to catch that man there. There is Andre Romy. We're riding on board with him now. There is Massimo, currently leading at the moment. Massimo's problem isn't the fact that he's not fast. The problem is he's not fast enough. Teammate, 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 teammate. The first top 4 are occupied by 2 teammates from the same team that are different. That's the thing. That's the problem. Romy is fighting Massimo. Daniele is the rear gunner now. Carlo needs to make progress. Carlo needs to come forward, because if he does not, he's going to leave his teammate exposed to the battle. That's the problem with 13 minutes going, because the Massimo last time out was super quick. There he is, currently leading in first position. But Massimo's biggest problem is that consistency in the final 7 minutes of the race. He's led a load of laps. He just hasn't won those laps. That's the problem again. He's going too wide through these corners. He doesn't have that front end grip that the BMW seems to be having at the moment. Romy is really finding speed, and he's finding it by nearly 0.6 of a second. That's who we're on board with now. 0.6 of a second he's finding. And as we ride on board now with Carlo, Carlo is starting to lose touch now with the top 3. He needs to get going. He needs to get this done, because he needs to get up there to help his teammate. Because at the moment, Massimo is under huge pressure from second place man Romy. BMW versus Infinity, 2 rival teams. And unless Carlo can close that gap and keep these occupied, the battle is on. It's going to be a full-on 4-way battle for the lead. They've dropped Carlo again. Carlo's just not fast in that final sector, and that's really going to cost him, I think. That could end up costing the man at the front, the bright yellow car, which could be orange. I don't know, because I'm colorblind. So it's either one of those 2 colors, but it's the one definitely at the front. That's the one that's going to cost it. That's going to be the issue. A little bit of a squirm there. Romy's just faster. He's just so much more confidence. He's so much more... He's got so much more drive coming out of those corners. Massimo's losing it all in the final sector. That's Massimo's problem, riding on board once again the second place man. And that's the challenge he's got to do here. He's just closed the gap in those final little corners. It's down to less than 0.2 of a second from Romy to Massimo. But is his teammate going to play into this? Is Daniele going to try and sail it up the inside? Because Daniele there is now right on the back of first and second. Daniele could be on to take his first win of the season. Massimo has left the door wide open there. This is a 2-way battle for the lead into the club section. Is he going to get it done? Is he going to go through? Yes, he does. Massimo has lost the front end completely. He has no drive. He's taken a shortcut across there. They are all squirming now in these conditions. And Carlo has finally picked a pacer. He's now fighting Massimo. Took a bit of a liberty with the corner, and he's taken it again. Magnetic stuff. Carlo's gone, hello. If you two can go slow, I'm going to go fast. So he's now joined the back of these 2. I wonder if Massimo was purposely driving slower. That could be playing into effect now. The rest of the field is kind of spread out. Andrea Alberti's on the back of Bentili as well. But this is the battle we're following at the moment as we ride on board once again with Carlo, with the rain beaming down the streaming. This is first to 4th place. There is 3rd and 2nd. First has now dropped out of this battle because the gap is now over a second. There's Jamie Dory in the number 13 as it stands at the moment. Leading at the front is Massimo. Massimo is currently leading this as the fastest driver, but the fastest driver on track is Romy at 124.123 last lap compared to a 124.669. Carlo in 4th, 123.2, was 0.6 of a second faster than Daniele ahead of him. But Daniele, he's got to go. He's got to get this done, because if he doesn't, Carlo, that car there is not going to get it in. It's a 4-way battle for the lead. It is a Romy versus Massimo and the 2 teammates. Oh, there's a slide, big slide there from the BMWs coming out of club corner. That's once again released Massimo into an over a 1 second gap at the front. Is that going to save him? Massimo at the moment is just mighty in that final corner. He's not the quickest in it, but he's got so much more confidence. He just needs to drive his line, keep it all 4 wheels pointing on the tarmac, make no silly mistakes, and he could take the race victory this time out. But Romy is a multiple race winner this season. He loves doing the double. That's why he is hunting down Lloyd Biddulph, who's just kind of in 7th position. He's not making any progress, and no one's really catching him at the moment. So he's just kind of stuck there as it stands at the moment. But as it goes now, Romi's going up the inside. Massimo's left the door wide. They're both sliding to the right. Massimo doesn't have the traction. He's got to close that door, because otherwise Romy is going to sail it up the inside. Romy is the second car, the number 68, the red car with the grey side. That one, boom. The car to the left, behind him, that's his teammate. Oh, he's going up the inside. Romy's going to try and sail it up the inside. This is going to be a massive accident if they come together. Massimo once again is going on. He's gone wide. He's outbraked himself. Massimo once again, second, third. He nearly collects his teammate. Massimo was leading once again. This is what I was saying time and time again. It's that 7 minutes to go. Massimo just goes backwards. That was his race once again. I don't know what he does with the tyres. I don't know if he's overusing them. I don't know, but he's just gone backwards. And now Carlo is so much faster than him. He needs to let Carlo through. Carlo is nearly a second a lap faster. They have to play the teammate game. They have to let Carlo through, because if they don't, they risk the opportunity. They risk the real opportunity here, with the last 6.5 minutes remaining, of taking at least a second position, because Carlo in 4th is faster than Daniele. He just is. But this is just slowing them down. So they need to work that through, because otherwise it's going to be real problems. Right, this is the battle for 8th and 9th. So this is Fraser Rostance versus Michael Clough. Michael Clough is the Hyundai just ahead. Fraser Rostance, I think the switcheroo is on. We're going back to this battle now. Carlo is in 4th position, chasing down Massimo, but they need to change positions. Massimo's tyres are gone, and I don't think he really has the conditions. Dory, Andre, Sykes, Body Flack, Garside and Neil have all retired. Massimo is that final club corner that he's fast at, but they're losing precious time here. This could cost them the opportunity of a second place finish. Massimo's struggling, Carlo isn't. We'll see how that unfolds. But at the front, Romy and Daniele, they're just sticking together now. They're trading times, but not really doing anything serious. Fraser Rostance is right on the back of Michael Clough. Michael Clough run wide. Rostance and I think Alex Ward is going to mug him as well. Alex Ward is retired. I think Michael Clough has damage. Might have damage. We're only down now to 15 drivers. A lot of drivers' conditions are catching. A lot of the drivers are being caught out as it stands at the moment. Fraser Rostance there is fighting. He's going to try and fight to get at Lloyd, but Lloyd's 5 seconds and Lloyd's got 18 seconds as it stands at the moment. Carlo again. This is the battle for 4th position. And as we go to the extended battle, you can see now that it's just those two. And there's less than 5 minutes remaining. I think Carlo and Massimo, they're in the same team. I think they should have swapped. And the problem they now have is Alberti behind them is 2.5 seconds a lap faster. And the gap is 1.2 seconds. So in the last 2 laps, Alberti in 5th has closed that gap to under 2 seconds. And he's nearly got it under a second. And he has now got it under a second. And that's why it's now the battle for 3rd. And they've lost that position. Alberti's lost it. Alberti now has the real opportunity of getting 3rd. Massimo and Carlo in 3rd and 4th should have swung positions. But it is what it is. That's the way it is on this day in history with 4 minutes to go. It's all ifs and buts, as they say. At the front, Romy's doing all he needs to do to extract the maximum points. I don't think there will be a change at the front, purely because Romy will be is going for championship points. So Romy is going to take that, I believe. Daniele is just the rear gunner and will stick there. But the man on the move, is Andre Alberti, and he's getting closer and closer to Carlo ahead and Massimo in 3rd. So he has a real opportunity here, a real opportunity to close that gap down. 8 tenths of a second, 7 tenths of a second, lap after lap, corner after corner. He is just getting closer and closer and closer. And it's too late. They can't swap positions now. Third and fourth cannot swap positions. It's absolutely, it's game over. And the BMW is going to mug them. It's going to mug them. It's just going to get done. And that's the problem that they had. They should have changed positions, but it is what it is. Some info coming in there on from Alessandro saying the Infiniti destroys its tyres, and the BMW is more balanced, but they had a real opportunity. Carlo was faster by over a second. Carlo is in the 53, and he could have made time, but it is what it is. That's how it stacks up for, like I said, this day in history. So, is it going to be done? Is he going to go round through? Is he going to get it done? Yeah, it's just game over, really. And the BMW's mugged him. Alberti's into fourth position. He's up 12 at the moment, which he's going to get Massimo at this rate. His last lap was a 1:24.3, and Massimo was a 1:26.113. Alberti could, at the current rate, is the fastest person on track. He's 1 second, nearly a second faster than our leaders. So he will get third, but unless Daniele and Romy in first make a mistake, there isn't going to be a change to that position. Lloyd Biddulph is all kicking off in the background. Didn't even see that. So Lloyd Biddulph has gone off the track somewhere and then come right into the back of Marco Fraser, and they're all absolutely fighting. I believe they are passing a lapped car. That's the problem. Lloyd Biddulph there, the rain is absolutely hammering it down now, and Lloyd is on hard tyres, I believe. Yeah, Lloyd is on the hard tyres, and he's just going to go backwards. He is just going to go backwards. Baz should mug him as well. So it's really, really going to be... it's going to be trouble for him, I think. Baz is going to mug him. Lloyd there is just not having a good time. But at the front, Alberti is now right onto the back of Massimo. This is the battle. It is 1 lap to go, and Massimo now has to hold on to that third position. He doesn't have to be the quickest driver on the track. He doesn't have to be the greatest driver on the track. Massimo, the car ahead, that yellow car, the Infiniti, just has to be faster than Alberti behind him. He's got understeer all over the road. The rear end is twitching. It's raining hard. The BMW is just better in these conditions at the moment. That's why it's front rear-wheel drive. That's why it's BMW, and then it's the Infiniti. There's only real one opportunity that BMW is going to have to get this position, and it's coming into the club corner. So he has to defend hard now. He can't afford to run wide. He needs to go right, perfect, hit the line perfectly. He's gone a little bit wide there, but that's okay. He just needs to... He takes a little bit of an interesting line going through there. That will compromise his exit, but those BMWs don't get a good drive out of club. Now he's going to have one more go. The BMW of Alberti. He's going to have to take a massive brave bill if he wants to do this. Riding on board with him now. This is the last lap of race 3. Romy's checked himself out, 1.45 seconds ahead. They're coming up to lap cars. That could save Massimo in third. He's been doing all he needs to do here. He's got one opportunity. This man here, Alberti, he was going sideways. He was going more sideways than frontways there. Absolutely magnetic. Massimo, there he is in the Infiniti. They're going to pass a lapped car there of Stu Neal. That could be the saving grace here of Massimo, because it's going to shut the door to Alberti's overtaking opportunity going around the back half of the circuit. And that's going to be key as they go through Goodwood Village and Church, because that's where the BMW will have the power. Now he needs to close this gap up to that front wheel drive, the car ahead, and then go for the overtake. The lapping that car in the most awkward position where the BMW won't get the overdrive. Coming up now, this is where he's got to do it. This is where that front wheel drive car is going to be the saving grace. He can't afford to let it slip. He can't afford to be the slowest. He can't afford to be the fastest. It's one more lap to go. So he's got to get done. He's got to get past this front-wheel drive car. He's done that. This is the battle that is going on at the moment. The rest of the field is spread out. The BMW, Alberti has made a mistake. He's made a mistake. This could be Massimo's saving grace. No, it isn't. That was the end of the lap. He's done it. He's perfect. I completely forgot what was going on. I completely missed the end of the race. So Romy won the race. Superb drive there from Romy. Daniele comes in second. Massimo's in third. He should have won that race. Alberti was in fourth position. Great drive from him, but it was what it was. Carlo, the Carlo and Massimo debate will go on and on and on for me, I think. Is that Carlo should have been let through from Massimo. Massimo is mighty in those front sectors, but Carlo just seems to be able to consistently keep his tyres more and more and more. So Massimo should have let Carlo through because the writing was on the wall there, and they were too busy holding each other up, and as a result, they lost out to, I believe, a third position. But it is what it is on this day in history as we watch Thomas Delaney bring the car home. Lloyd will be happy with 10th. As happy as he can be. Michael Clough is going to bring a very, very second-hand front-wheel drive car home into 11th position. I think the car might be damaged. That's a very damaged car as he brings the car home in 11th position. Robert coming up saying, yes and no, I have a lot more tyre left than Massimo. Yeah. Robert, if you watch Robert back, we'll do that in post-race interview if you'd like to hang around, Robert. Robert's mighty. He manages the tyres more. And that's what's key here. It's all about that tyre management. And, yeah, Massimo ate his tyres. He's so quick. And I think the problem is he's too quick. He gets 4 or 5 seconds ahead. And he just needs to just hold the gap at 3 seconds. Because if you look at Romy, he only ever gets to about 2 seconds and then just stops. Doesn't go any faster. So it is what it is, as I say. Right, let's go across to the session results for the final race of the evening. So Romy once again does the double. There he is in first, followed by Daniele in second. Massimo is in third. Andre Alberti is in fourth. Why is... Oh, yeah, he holds on to third. Alberti is fourth. Carlo is fifth, and talking point for the evening will always be, for me, Carlo should have been third. Marco is sixth. Marco Benatili is sixth. Marco, I'm not going to butcher your name, is in seventh. Fraser Rostance is eighth. Benny Norton is ninth. Didn't really talk about Benny Norton, that he recovered to ninth. Lloyd Biddulph is 10th. He's just going to be happy to this day is over. Michael Clough is in 11th. Stu Neal is 12th. Ward is 13th. Baz is 14th. Deanley is 15th. Dory is 16th on a DNF. Andre is 17th DNF. Mark Sykes, 18th DNF. Phil Garside, 19th DNF. Poddy Flack is 21st on a DNF. And Derek Neal is 21st on a disqualified. And that's how it stacks up for tonight's racing. Opinion, he is very fast, but stresses the front tyres too much. Yeah, 100% agree with you. So again, coming back over, that's the end of the races. But again, that's going to be the talking point for me. That's going to be the talking point. Because, yeah, I agree. Massimo is so fast. He's rapid fast. But at around, and this was what I was saying between races 2 and 3, we've seen it at Donington, we've seen it every week. He gets to about 8 minutes to go, and the tyres have gone. And that front, he just understeers all the time. But he's 3-4 seconds ahead, and he doesn't need to be 3-4 seconds ahead. He just has to manage the gap at about 2 seconds, and he'd be perfect. Robert saying that so he doesn't. You shouldn't drink and drive. We are a kid-friendly stream. You shouldn't drink and drive. But Robert just making a joke there that it's drinking beer on the straight is the reason his problem is. He's talking about root beer. That's a non-alcoholic beer that we're talking about there. Please don't report me to the YouTube police. I still want to commentate. But it's always going to be a talking point, I think, on how those... you know, how those going. And again, lots and lots of stuff coming up on the board. Yes, that's correct, mate. Thank you for confirming it's root beer. And that's saying a lot of so if you're on the YouTube, sorry, not the YouTube, if you're on the Discord, get over on the Discord, because a lot of the drivers do talk on the Discord. We don't have anybody in commentary yet. We'll give it about 5 minutes and see if anybody joins us. But there is a lot of drivers, and they're all talking about tyres. So if you are on the Discord, you can see all the tyres that they're making. That's where I get some of my information. And yeah, two of the drivers, so Baz and Poddy. So Poddy had a great race 1, race 2, bit of a tangle, and race 3 didn't go anywhere. And he's saying he should have stuck to the wet tyres. The hard tyres, he chewed them up, and that was the end of that. So that's really hindered him. That's really hurt him, I think. The changeable conditions really struggled. Jamie Dory looks like he had a bad day as well. He was up to top 5 as well, which was good. Top 6, good starting position in race 3, but again, it didn't come his way. So a lot of the drivers, a couple of just saying, I hope it's going to be dry next week. We have had a lot of rain recently, but we do follow the real world conditions in terms of the weather. The weather follows the real world conditions. So if it was yesterday when they looked at the data and it was raining, with rain. So what makes the championship so great is that it's not dry. And it's changeable conditions. So it's one of those factors that comes into it. So I love to, but I am in a holiday in Greece and my wife and kids are sleeping. So Robert's on holiday. If you're wondering, he drives the Infinity. Great race, and I'm expecting you to win a race at some point. I don't think... Have you won one yet this season? Did you win less Snetterton? No, you weren't at Snetterton. But I'm expecting Robert to win a race this season. No, you have won a race. I'm pretty sure he's won a race. I'll have to check that. But, yeah, lots and lots of different talking points, I think, tonight. So we'll see how that stacks up. I will be back. There's nobody in the commentary box. So I'll see how that stacks up next week. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. We're on the YouTube. We're on YouTube. Please also remember, spread the word, share the stream with everybody you can. It's a great watch for 20 minutes of your life, for 60 minutes of your life. Always wait a day, because I'll go through it and add in the timestamps, which I'll do tomorrow, so you can save your time. You can save the talky bits. And thank you for all of you that were with us for the entire stream. Yeah, I thought you won one. Was it Don? Was it Brands Hatch? Race 3? I think it was Brands Hatch Race 3. You might correct me in that one. I think it was Brands Hatch Race 3. If you haven't seen that race, Brands Hatch, go back and watch it. It's on the Kidney. It's the smaller race circuit. Great racetrack. Right. That's it for me for today. We're going to be at Alton Park next week. That's a great racing track. I love Alton Park. It's one of my favourite tracks. That is a front-wheel drive track. The rear-wheel drives there will struggle. The front-wheel drives is the car of choice. Yes, it is. It is race 3 of Brands Hatch. I thought it was. Go watch that. It's a cracking race. Tonight, great race. Great races all through, but a lot of strategic was coming in, and a lot of drivers were just being careful and caught out by the conditions. Right, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Do not forget to like and subscribe and share the stream, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Goodbye.